Hello, everyone! Welcome to another episode of That One Piece Talk. My name is Larry.
Lawrence.
Lionel.
Sam.
And this is That One Piece Talk, where we talk One Piece. Woo! Let's go. What up, everybody? Get ready for an exciting experience today. We are diving right into the official release of Chapter 1134. We'll be reviewing, taking calls, and engaging with your super chats. It's going to be a good episode as always. If you haven't supported us yet by liking the video, please do. If you wish to interact with people like us, we have a Discord. I'd like you to join it. If you can't watch us at home, watch us on the go on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Also, don't forget to rate us 5 stars and leave a nice comment. It helps us a lot. We will read all your super chats organically. They will not go unread, and we apologize in advance if we don't get to them on time. Also, we are finishing our goal from last week. We had 50 super chats, and if you guys reached it within a specific amount of time, you get to vote on who you would like to see pied in the face for TOPT hosts. So, we only got to 30 last week. We're going to do 20 this week. If you guys get the 20 within 2 hours, you can choose. Sebastian will put up the vote. The poll in the YouTube chat. And the only ones that will be counted will be the $10 or higher, because this is pretty humiliating to do. So we're going to do that. Also, if you wanted to send us mail, we have a P.O. box in the video description below this video. If you want to send us something, you're more than welcome. But thank you for always supporting us. Now, let's say what's up to chat and read some super chats. And then we'll get into the chapter.
Yeah. A couple people in here, man. I see Riyasat Chowdhury, T. Regent, Broker. What up, Broker? I know Broker's also making his own announcement that essentially people who are hashtagging the Broker will be able to have their theories read with him on the Discord. So have fun with that. Talk That Anime. I see you in here. Monkey D. Jiraiya, Ravenstorm, Creator Keon, Rono Ronin, Frank Cervantes, Night Lion, Immortal Gods, Brandon Wigfall, Craven, Coven Creerer. Wow, I can't say that. It's Motions, KSG2, Hunch and D Host, Cyborg Frankie, Chenzo, Jenny, Caleb Beltram, Patty Meltz, Joshua Moore, Rono Ronin, Brorenor Zorlo, Jenny, Mr. Magpie, Toby's in here, what up, Toby? Toji's in here, what up, Toji? Reeling with Rob, Del Perio, Juvie, Vandy Auger, Eddie Bonilla, Special K, Jeremy A, Stoic Wolf, R&B, Life with Anime Podcast. What up? It was good catching up with y'all on Saturday, man. But yeah, so many people in here. Like Larry always says, like the stream. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. We currently have 212 people in here. It's an exciting chapter. But only 64 likes. So hit that like button if you guys are liking the content. So we'll get into super chats now, and then we'll get into the chapter. So far, we have $5 from Monkey D. Jiraiya. It says, "What's your theory on why Kuzan really joined the Blackbeard Pirates?" #Broker, #Broker, Christmas special in Whitebeard's Marine Ford voice. Oh, I can't do that, bro. I don't have that in me. #The Larry Tax is real. The Larry Tax is real. But thank you.
Funny.
Another 50 from Creator Keon. Oh man, Marv misread your name earlier. It was funny. It says, "Hey guys, I can't be here when the stream starts because of family time. We all need family time, man. I'll check it out tomorrow after work. Hope you have fun with the chapter review. Here's that Larry Tax, and happy holidays to everyone." Well, thank you so much, Keon. I hope you were able to be around for at least that part of it. Happy holidays to you as well, and enjoy the time with your family, man. Truly. Mm-hmm. Another 10 from Franco Cervantes. It says, "Someone please make a mortgage out of this year's funniest montage out of this year's funniest and out-of-pocket moments on this pod. My fave will always be when Larry said, 'Dragon is running a pyramid scheme.' Happy holidays, y'all." Yo.
I don't even know what episode that's.
I don't know what episode it was either. I don't think it was a regular episode.
You were crying, bro.
It was hilarious, bro.
I didn't think it was that funny.
No, it was. Because it was like a "you should be here." You know what I'm saying? It was great. I thought it was great. The other 2 from 30, General 30, it says, "Shanks is a B word, #Broker. 30, you might have to drop that agenda, man. depending on how this all goes at the end of this chapter and beyond. But you might have to drop that. Another 12 months at Nakama status from Goatman Tees. It says Ripley top female in the verse. Hashtag Hey Marv. Who's Ripley? Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah. She's pretty fire. She's pretty fire. I was messing with her. It's a cool design. Another 5 from Johnny Blurp. It says top 5 strongest non-Conquerors characters in One Piece. Hashtag Larry Tax. Hashtag Celestial Larry. Top 5 non-Conquerors. Blackbeard.
I was thinking Blackbeard. Yeah. The 3 Admirals, the original 3 Admirals, right?
I think Kano got it, but I feel you. There's no confirmation yet, so I'll count that.
And Mihawk.
Yeah, I think that's solid. I think that's it. That's the 5, right? Yeah. Some of those people might end up having.
Wait, who are you about to think of? You were about to think of somebody, or
no?
He gave the whole list, bro. What you mean?
No, he stopped. Like
no, I was recounting to make sure it was 5.
Yeah, that's clean. Another 2 from Night Lion. It says, if Sabo top 20, Zoro top 20, LOL, hashtag Larry Tax. We tried to prevent it. We did. If y'all don't know, we had our top 20 strongest characters alive in the verse last Saturday. We had a bunch of special guests from a bunch of other pods and other content creators on YouTube. So definitely check that out. See where some of your favorite characters or least favorite characters ended up on the list.
Zolo ended up on the list?
We tried to fight it, but he did. It was alive, though. It was alive.
Bro, somebody picked Ben Backman to be on the list.
Hey, man. A lot happened, bro. A lot happened. I'll say that. It was a good time, though. And that was a fun stream, so definitely check it out, y'all. Another 5 from Dr. Threat. It says, Larry, are you ready for Odin to be the man marked by flames? Hashtag Oda be lying. Oh, my God.
That's for Lionel. That's not for me.
That's terrible writing.
Yeah, I would hate that.
I love Odin, but no.
Yeah, Nah, bro. Another 10 from Poda Jesus. It says, let's go, Nakama. Another Monday, another chapter. What's one culture y'all want to see in the world of One Piece? And how Luffy just find his way to baddies? Hashtag we way out here. Hashtag cream pie Larry. Okay.
That's reference to the pie in the face.
In the face. Do y'all have a culture that y'all want to see in One Piece? I feel like most have been explored already. I'm trying to think of one that hasn't.
Has the Indian culture been explored that much like that?
Like,
because we've seen a little bit of like Chinese, like, culture, Japanese, obviously, French a little bit, Italian, but I don't remember African out too. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember seeing the Indian culture like that. I could be wrong.
Get some Bollywood movie going action up in here.
I don't know. Am I right?
I feel like you might be. I'm trying to think of somebody that would represent it. They said Jinbei is Indian.
Yeah, which I always thought he would be black, but what he's wearing, that's more like, that's not like an Indian type of style though, right?
It screams Japanese to me, but I don't know nothing.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I just don't know much about Indian culture to be like identifying it when we see it for real.
No, because the Spider-Man verse. Like when I think of that, I'm not trying to be like stereotypical racist, but I thought of the guy from the Spider-Man verse with Miles, like that type of,
Okay. I'd be with it. I'd be good for it. Another 2 from Rono Ronin. It says, make the twins say Sabaody Archipelago. Love TOPT.
I was actually thinking of like other Indian like possible.
Oh, you just ignored the story.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
So I was thinking of, is Mad Monk?
He could be, but we don't know.
He hasn't shown yet. We're still waiting for him to show up like the rest of them.
So you're not going to do it?
Yeah, I'm saying.
No.
So, I'm sorry, Rono Ronin. There's some defiant people here today. Another 10 from Joel Chamont. But there is no actual text attached to the super chat. So thank you. Next time, let us know your thoughts, Joel. Another 5 from Bazillion Volleyballs. It says, IRS at my door about a Larry tax. All you had to do was say the word, Brody. Hashtag Larry chill. Hashtag Shanks stocks up. Yeah.
Is it? From this?
People stocks move.
I'm like, from what? Anyway.
Another 2 from Project Iceman. It says, who y'all like more, Gerd or Ripley? # Larry Tax. I gotta see Ripley again, low-key. I've been kind of busy this weekend.
Both of them.
Both of them. Capital B, capital O, capital A, capital F. Both. We got another 20 months at 𝙀𝐚𝐬𝐭 status, our highest tier of membership from the broker. It says, hi all. Anyone who puts # broker in their super chat today will get entered into a raffle I am holding. A winner will then be chosen at random and will get to ask me, the broker, to come up with a theory on anything with a smiling face emoji. Yeah, I tried to announce that earlier, broker. Thank you for super chatting and making it a real thing. But yeah, thank you. For those of y'all that want to partake in this, by all means, put # the broker into any of the super chats and talk to him about potentially getting a theory crafted on your behalf. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, should be dope. He's got theories for days, bro. I've talked to broker. He's got 1,000. So, another 10 from Cyborg Frankie. It says, get ready for that cream pie St. Larry Don Quixote.
Why don't you mean?
He liked that super chat so much he said it twice.
I can't.
It's probably a mistake.
Maybe. I hope it's not. But thank you, Cyborg.
Yeah, thank you.
Another 10 from Rep Pressler. What did you guys think about what Oda said about the manga in his Jump Festa message? Did you have that as a part of the agenda, Larry, or no?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I could search it up, though.
Okay. Well, Larry will search it up, and we'll get to it in a little bit. But thank you. Did you guys hear it at all or no? The Jump Festa thing?
No.
Okay. Another 5 from K Money. It says, what's up, boys? Longtime fan. Hope I can finally get on a call. I have an interesting theory about mythical god devil fruits having hockey. # Buggy top 3. If the theory has anything to do or anything that implies that Buggy's actually top 3, we're not going to like it.
Definitely
But
not.
we're looking forward to it. So thank you. Another 5 from Kirby. It says, wanted to buy my girl a Hellcat, but Larry Tax comes first. # Garling agenda on topped. A Hellcat, bro? Why are you buying your girl a car? Don't do that. I know from past mistakes. Anyway, another 5 from Sanji Aestalia. It says, what's up, everybody? Hope y'all good. Which is your best foreshadowing in One Piece? Mine was when Sanji saw a picture of a woman in the shipwreck. Yo, people have said that was foreshadowing. I don't know that that's foreshadowing for real. But
yeah, we got no confirmation of who that is yet.
Yeah.
Or
no, I get it. They try to say it's a
up.
connection to his mom and all that, but
oh, okay. I guess. I guess.
The Sanji one is the one for me, actually. My favorite foreshadowing, because I thought it was the most subtle that Oda's ever had. The Sanji's having that secondary backstory. He alluded to it at Jaya and at East Blue in regards to like Sanji not being from East Blue, and then when they were talking about like the pain that your family can have, like your family's history, Sanji's like off in the distance, like thinking to himself about. Like I thought that was really, really, really subtle and really, really played out well in the story. So it's actually Sanji for me.
It's funny because it's low key. 'Cause I was thinking back later because remember we talked about like the aura moments and it's like thanks for the light. Remember how much Sebastian would like say Sanji's not normal because certain things he was able to do, right? And then we find out Sanji is not normal because he's been tampered with since he got. But Sebastian's low-key been calling us about Sanji since, like, for the longest.
Bro, he was doing stuff he wasn't supposed to be able to do. Like spinning underwater and like, smoking a cigarette 10,000 meters under. Like, listen, I don't know if that has to do with his body modifications, but it never made sense. We did get another $50 super chat from the Joy Boy. The boy equals Joy Boy.
Thank you.
It says, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. What's good, Brody, Seb, and Larry? No crashing out this episode. Need y'all on the same page. With laughing emojis. # Shanks over Skank. Skank is crazy.
I don't think we'll crash out this episode.
We'll see.
We'll
see.
I don't think so.
We got another 20 months in Nakama from our guy Toby. The mod, it says Big 20, # Yamato top 5 baddest, # I'm climbing that tree. Man, I don't know if top 5 baddest is a real thing for Yamato, but we appreciate it.
She almost made it. Didn't she make it?
She was I think she was top 5 at one point. She got dropped
5.
down. Yeah. But she got dropped down at the end a little bit. Like I think, yeah. Which W's. Another 20 euros from MJ. And another 20 gifted memberships from MJ. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So
Always
generous.
going crazy every week.
It says, it just hit midnight and my girlfriend is celebrating her birthday. So I'm going to spend time with her and rewatch tomorrow. Merry early Christmas to y'all, and I wish y'all the best and a good stream. Hashtag Larry Tax is brutal. Thank you so much, MJ. Spend the time with your girl. Hope you got something nice for her. Having birthdays for significant others this close to the holiday kind of sucks because you got to double up. But do your best and stop donating so much to us and see if you can do that for her. All right?
I was literally about to say, like, if you got a significant other, treat them, like, very well, especially during these times. But, like, you said it very well, so I'm not going to say anything at all.
I'm trying today, bro.
But treat your girl right, man.
Yeah, man.
Don't care about us.
Hopefully he's already gone.
But prioritize her, bro.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that.
Yeah, we got another 10 from Daniel De Armas. It says, hey, Top Gang. Oda really torturing us during Christmas with these chapters. Cannot wait for Larry's theory. Hashtag Larry collecting that money. Hashtag W Larry Ting. Hashtag BBC Gang. Hashtag Freedom for Twins. Hashtag Ana De Armas not my cousin. I wish she was, man. She's
Freedom
so
for
fine.
Twins. I'm confused.
She's so fine, bro.
Who's fine?
Ana De Armas.
I don't know who that is.
You do. You ever seen Knives Out?
Mm-mm.
You never seen Knives Out?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah.
She was in also the James Bond movie.
I just know that
right? That's what I'm talking
Chris Evans is in it.
You've never seen Knives Out, bro? This
Yeah,
girl.
her. Yeah.
I like her, bro. She's cute. Anyway, we got another. I lost my place. And let me know when I need to stop. If you want to go to like 620 or what you want to do.
We'll do 620.
Okay. Another 2 from Kirby. It says, give Pain conquers hockey. Is he Yonko level? Hashtag Marv of Oz on top. Pain with conquers hockey?
I don't see it.
Pain was pretty strong.
Nagato was pretty strong, but that wasn't his power. It was given to him by Obito.
When they say Pain, they're talking about Nagato, bro. Like Rinnegan, yeah. So he got 6 paths that he can control from
he had
distances.
a weak will to me.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
But that's what I'm saying. They're giving him Conqueror's hockey now.
You can't just give somebody that.
That's the
deserve
super chat, yo. What
You're giving him a stronger will? Like,
Yeah,
seriously.
now he's a different
I
character.
don't think he will be Pain if he had a stronger will.
All right. Yeah, I got it.
He'd be regret.
That was good. That was actually pretty good. Another 10 from Reeling with Rob. It says, who do y'all have Shanks versus Dragon? Hashtag the Larry Tex. I have Shanks.
I have Shanks.
I think even when Dragon shows out, I'll probably still have Shanks.
I got Shanks too.
Yeah, Shanks.
But still gotta wait to see though.
Yeah.
Shanks.
Word.
Another 10 from Gerardo Ramirez. It says, hear ye. I cannot read. Hear ye. This time for all top Nakama to provide their voluntary Larry tax, lest ye risk the punishment of Larry living without the big booty Latina of his dreams. Now release me. Hashtag broker. Thank you, Gerardo.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, what's that? Oh, man. We did get another 5 from Alan Wells. It says, when do y'all predict Zoro will surpass Odin? Compared to endgame characters, Odin's not even that strong. So surpassing him isn't a huge deal. If you ask some people, they say he already has. I added that part myself. But I don't think so, personally. But soonish, I would say.
Soon.
Yeah, soon.
Probably by the end of Elbaf, I think he'll be as strong as Odin. Maybe that's tripping, but
No, that seems very reasonable to me.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We will see.
Lionel,
We will see.
We'll see. Okay.
We will see.
Okay. You want to give an estimate on where you think? When? What time?
It should,
What
should be more.
time frame?
Because you know it's not the end of the show.
I can go with the end of the show, Zolo.
That's when he'll do it? We already know he's going to do it.
You already know my view. Is Zolo after Elbaf going to be Yonko level?
We got
If he is, then
We
yeah,
got
that's it. But that's some point. I already said Odin's Yonko level. That's not changing. So you're saying Zolo is Yonko level now? Because he's not. He's going to be Yonko level.
The problem is your premise is already steeped in wrong.
It's not, but okay.
It's 620. So
Yeah. I was looking at Oda's message during Jump Festa. I think we should probably do it after this chapter.
okay.
Because I feel like the things that he says in the last paragraph will definitely
Potentially be something that we're
yeah.
alluding to here. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll just do it after. How about that? For everyone that's in chat, I just want to say thank you so much for all the super chats. We're going to go right back to the ones that we haven't read just yet. We just want to get to the chapter. We want to read some of it. And then during certain parts of the chapter where we take like, you know, a break to get to the next section, we'll read those super chats that you guys sent, okay? After the chapter is done, we'll go over the Jump Festa message that Oda sent out. And then after that, we will get to Discord phone calls so we can hear from you guys, all right? So thank you so much. If you haven't liked the video yet, please like the video. It helps us out a lot, and we just want to say thank you. But for now, guys, let's get into the chapter. All right. This week, the Yamato cover story takes a break, and instead, we have a color spread. We see a giant robot, Frankie, flying above the ocean's waves, and he's carrying the rest of the Straw Hats. What did you guys think about this color spread? And we'll start with Lionel.
I thought it was pretty cool. It reminded me of something, and obviously, I think everybody's mind would go to the Iron Giant, but that's already like played on. But it reminded me of something else, and I can't put my finger on it. Maybe because it's the giant Frankie and I guess the water guns, but I don't really have anything. But I thought it was pretty dope. I had a question: why does Zoro have one like? I thought he would at least have 3. You know, his signature like every time he has like 3 something. So, but I thought it was again a pretty dope picture. But I don't really have that much on or any theories on what this could possibly link to or be mean. So yeah.
All right. Seb?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I barely even really looked at this thing. I'm looking at it now. I really do like it. I did get the Iron Giant thought process. I did also think of Iron Man, but I kind of always do with Frankie. But not Iron Man, like that version of him, or the Iron, like what's it called? The Warmonger or whatever. That one random version of it that he fought.
War Machine?
Not War Machine. The one that yeah, the Ironmonger. Yeah, the one that he fought. I don't know. I thought of that when I saw it. But it looked cool. It was dope. It reminded me of one of the older color spreads from back in the day where they were like at war.
Yeah.
They were all wearing green. I really liked that one a lot. So it reminded me of that one. But this is like a futuristic and are these water guns?
Yeah,
they're like water guns, right? Yeah. So it's a little less serious. I liked how serious that war one was. So
yeah,
it was cool. It's always good to see all the Straw Hats. I like that Jinbei's on these consistently now. You know, that's the real thing. I'd be like, I feel like that's the first thing I look for is like, you wear Jinbei at, which is cool. So yeah.
All right, Law.
No, this made me laugh because like they're all water guns, but they aiming at something like they shooting something. What are y'all shooting at? Because like, did y'all get full in like kid mode? Because it was like Zoro's even aiming at shooting. So it's like I started on that, and the giant robot looked cool to me. It looked futuristic, but also like an ancient robot to me, like the way the design is built, and it made me think. I wonder if we're gonna get this actually in the manga itself, right? Since we already seen how Frankie's already like his idol or whatever you want to call it, or role model or whatever he looks up to is Vegapunk, and Vegapunk has one of his own, right? And now we also seen that he's seen Emmett, right? I wonder if Frankie's gonna create one of his own, in a way, how Luffy's supposed to be like his own version of Joy Boy, right? Frankie's seeming to be Luffy's Emmett or whatever, but also what Vegapunk has. And also, to me, this is not even going to be an extension of the ship. It will be his own thing because this thing legit is like an airplane. It's like flying. So, because it has those wings of like an airplane. So, I have to be cool if Frankie builds as one of his own, like his own project that he would do. But that's about it.
Yeah, like everybody's saying in the chat, the voice actor of Frankie has retired officially in the anime. And I guess it would be kind of like a tribute because all the Straw Hats are riding Frankie. It made me also think the reason why they have water guns is because Frankie's tagline is super, and they have super soakers.
I like that. I like that.
That's kind of like a good play in my opinion.
Okay.
But I also had the same thought process as Lawrence. It made me think of Pluton. It made me think of like how Frankie has memorized the blueprints, and it also made me think of Emmett and how we've seen him from the Ancient Kingdom. He's definitely built from the Ancient Kingdom. How does he have a conscience? All this, and that. It made me think of Frankie, and it made me think, well, what if Pluton is actually just a robot that could transform into a ship? Maybe because of the huge influence of like Gundams in Japan, that the ability to transform is just, it seems kind of like beyond human technology of what's being created. And maybe like Pluton itself could probably change from a ship into like a giant robot. It seems like the robotics of the Ancient Kingdom were existing. So and they might have had like, you know, like the ancient shipwrights definitely built Pluton. But I think maybe because their connection to the Ancient Kingdom and the technologies that they had, because even Vegapunk said like, yo, the technologies are out of this world. Like even I can't come up with the things that they came up with. Maybe when ancient shipwrights and the Ancient Kingdom came together, they built a ship-like robot. And we've seen with Frankie, he's been able to create like laser beams that are able to like destroy anything. And then we have, you know, it's just like, I just think, but at the end of the day, I think that there's Ancient Kingdom tech that we're going to start seeing more often. And Frankie's going to be the one to divulge in that, especially after this chapter from when he said what he was going to do. So we'll speak more on it.
It's going to be dope when we get to the Ancient Kingdom for real, because like that's going to be Oda's like magnum opus of creativity.
Yeah.
Like if you think whatever we saw on Egghead was like him being super creative, they're supposed to be beyond even what Vegapunk was at by hundreds of years. So Oda gonna have to get real creative with it. So we'll see.
But I also thought of if they ever show the flashback of during the Ancient Kingdom when it was at its peak at its technology, like when it was actually working and running. So I was thinking of that too. Like the ancient weapon also seen the kingdom and how vast that technology was that we don't get to see now.
They just have iPhones
And
social media.
But I also noticed, I don't know if you guys
Blackbeard
saw.
goes live.
I don't know if it means anything, but you saw what's on Frankie's left shoulder? It says, "We are eternal." I don't know if that's reference to anything.
Probably just saying like the voice acting crew that's been together for so long will never change.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it could be, when you said about the Frankie thing, I thought of that. But also, if it's a double meaning.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah. All right. Let's hit like 5 super chats and then we'll jump into the chapter again.
All right, cool. We did get another 6 months at Yonko status, our highest tier of membership from Sogagod. It says, "Merry Christmas, boys. What if the person who met with the Gorosei was Shanks look-alike and the certain pirate was Shanks himself? Maybe he wanted answers because he didn't know Shanks existed until then." Funny, we'll talk about this, but this was a conversation that me and the twins actually had over the weekend, and we laughed about it. So we'll talk about it when we get to that part of the chapter, so stay tuned, Sogagod, but it definitely was a topic of conversation for a lot of the community, I think. Another 5 months at Nakam status from Avinash Patel. It says, G5 is a little based on Indian monkey god Bajrang. Yeah, I was going to say that a little bit earlier too. Like there's attacks. Like a lot of the attacks that Luffy's used reference some like Indian deities and things. But I don't think like a full culture has been explored yet, which maybe he's waiting or saving it for. Maybe that's the Ancient Kingdom. You know, we never know. We'll see. Another 2 from Daryl Lawrence. It says, "The Larry tax is real. #broker. #white fans." Thank you to y'all. Another 10 from Mr. Magpie. It says, "Appreciate the shout out at the start of the stream, guys. Merry Christmas," with the rocking emoji and sunglasses. #TOPT. Thank you, Magpie.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Another 10 from Y2K. "Hello, guys. I think Chopper's Devil Fruit gave him the best potential and talent a human can have normally. Since he became a skilled doctor and scrapped in the new world, even though he is 17 right now. I feel like that takes a little bit away from Chopper as a character a little bit. The fruit just allowed him to.
I mean, he is a deer.
I know, but
Say it gave him the intellect.
But also,
popping you out here, bro.
but the thing is, Chopper's ability gave him two things. Gave him transformation and able to fight in different styles and a smarter brain.
Enlightenment.
Yeah, pretty much. So they gave him, pretty much he got two things from one fruit.
Another 5 from Roanoa Ronan. It says, all good, love you guys and this whole community. Been listening for a while from Charlestown, South Carolina. God bless you and your families. I've actually been to Charlestown a few times for work, and we actually have family in South Carolina, but not that close. South Carolina's pretty big. But yeah, thank you, and God bless you as well. And another 5 from... Sorry, my computer crashed here. Try to get back to it quickly.
Yeah, we could do like 2 more.
Yeah. Another 5 from Ultramix. It says, F all the strongest swordsman nonsense. Who wins in an oiled up wrestling match? Shanks or Mihawk?
Why?
Well, Shanks has 1 less arm, right? So that'll make wrestling a little bit more difficult for him. Yeah.
But does Mihawk even know how to wrestle?
Probably not.
I think Mihawk's all he got is the sword.
Can he use his sword in the wrestling match? No.
No.
I want to go Shanks.
He's gonna overpower Mihawk with one arm.
My whole stance is that he'll punch Mihawk in the face.
That's not wrestling.
Which wrestling are we talking about? I'm going Shanks. F Mihawk. Another 10 from the broker. It says, as it's Christmas, I will also offer the same prize to whomever does the highest super chat tonight. Wow. Okay. You can
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
You can ask me to come up with a theory for any mystery in the series. Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you, broker. That's very generous.
Thank you, broker.
So yeah, if you guys want to compete, again, put hashtag broker or the broker at the end of your super chat. Apparently, the highest super chat of the night with the hashtag will have the ability to get their theory crafted by the broker. And
Let's go back into it.
yeah,
All right, we'll go back to reading super chats, guys. We're just gonna do the chapter again. All right. This week, the chapter opens up with Luffy thanking Saul in a ridiculous manner for taking care of Robin as a kid. He wants to pay Saul respect. The Straw Hats want to know where he learned to talk like that. Saul mentions to Robin that she really did find her friends, and Robin looks at her crew and replies she found true friends that will protect her. So the Straw Hats turn around and cry while mentioning they'll protect her life. Saul wants to apologize for acting the way he did earlier, and thank you to all of them for coming to Elbaf. He also knows how incredible the Yonko are since he was in the Navy, so thank you so much for keeping Robin safe. Next, Lilith flies up to Saul and says, hey, it's me, Vegapunk. Saul doesn't remember her and knows Vegapunk's a guy. Jinbei then takes out an invention of Vegapunk's that was brought from Egghead. Jinbei wants to know what's inside, and Lilith says, it's me. Lilith is shocked. There's a clone. Not Lilith. Luffy's shocked. There's a clone. Lilith says, it's not a clone, but a perfected recreation, unlike the satellites. It's a him that came here 20 years ago. Wouldn't the Stella have been noticed if he left his lab for months at a time by the world government? Anywho, Lilith snuck him out in a biofluid, but she needs to build a lab to safely extract him. Bonnie wants to know if Lilith will be able to turn Kuma back too, and she replies, yeah, she would be able to. Saul can't believe Vegapunk's a woman and wants an explanation, but Lilith says, who cares? So, guys, what did you think about the beginning of this chapter? We'll start with Seb.
All right, so one, Luffy's little performative, I want to say thank you or whatever. I thought that was hilarious. I did. I felt like he was trying to be like Jinbei. Mm-hmm. Like Jinbei does that little stance and with the thing where he's doing the sake cups and all that. He did it when he joined the crew. I think he did it when he was leaving Big Mom too. So like, I don't know. My mind went to Jinbei. as to where he learned that from. But I don't know why, because I don't think Jinbei would have did that. I thought that was really funny. And then like he's like, "Well met, good sir." Like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking like that for? I did think it was really cool, that little moment of like Robin and them meeting, Saul meeting Robin's friends, and then them having the same like crying, tearful reaction again. I thought that was really funny and cool. And then Saul hyping up Luffy like, "Yo, like you an emperor. Like I know what that means, because I've been a Marine, bro. Like I know what the emperors are." And like if you think about it, Saul's a giant. He's been was a Marine for a long time. I don't think he might not have had any actual interactions with Whitebeard, but like he know of Whitebeard. He knows of Shanks. He knows of Kaido. He knows of Big Mom. Like the only Yonko he don't really know is Blackbeard, you know? So it's like he looking at them like, yo, he getting named with those guys. That's kind of wild. I thought that was dope. It reminded me of the chapter when Luffy got the title Yonko, like officially in the manga. Me and Larry were like, yo, we here. Like it reminded me of that. So I thought that was cool. The Vegapunk stuff. So one, it's good to finally know what the heck Jinbei was lugging around this whole time. Because I remember on Egghead where he went to go get Vegapunk's like package or whatever. And we were like, yo, what is that? And then it just played no factor in the Vegapunk's, like the Egghead storyline. So I was like, yo, what's happening? But it's good to see that we have something there. As far as the contents, wasn't a fan. Not gonna lie, was not a fan of the thought that Vegapunk has this clone that he can just recreate and then it'll be like Vegapunk never died. Like I was already kind of like on the fact that these satellites exist, and now we basically just have like Vegapunk just gonna exist again. I wasn't a huge fan of that personally. I think Oda needs to play the stakes of death stronger in the story. I've always felt that he's just continuing down this path of like, nah, nobody's gone, nobody's really gone. And to me, it kind of takes a little bit of away from like some of the moments. Like, I know Vegapunk's like passing wasn't like dramatized in the way that some others were, but it was still like, at least Vegapunk got clipped. Like now it's like, nah, not even that. Not even that. We didn't even get that. And I know we got the Kizaru emotional impact of it, which is cool. He thinks he did that. And like he'll probably see this Vegapunk and be like, what the hell? And it'll be a funny moment, but like, I don't know, I wasn't a fan of that. And then we doubled down on that where it's like, yo, Kuma too. And I'm like, yo, like, where the stakes actually at then? If you got this situation and Vegapunk can just, I have a clone of you, I have a biometric fluid that can just Kuma back now too in a couple years. Just gotta build a lab. Hope that lab's never built. I know I sound like a hater. I know I do. I hope they I would rather Lilith dies before the lab gets built.
Wow.
I'm so serious. F that lab.
What's wrong with you, man?
Bro, listen, bro. Y'all, we get knocked for One Piece being too Mickey Mouse enough, bro. We talking about bringing people back again. It's legit my biggest like knock on the series, and like we tripling down on it right now. In my face, playing in my face. Literally, the chapter after Saul back, we getting Vegapunk and Kuma back. The next chapter, like we tripling down on this. So like again, y'all be. I know again, maybe I'm too negative about it. It's annoying to me. It literally is, and I know it's more about the feelings that people had in the moment. But like, I don't know, man. Anytime Oda plays up death as a concept, I'm not gonna care. Why would I care? Why would I actually get emotionally invested in any serious situation that results in a character dying if this type of stuff is going to happen consistently?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Be real.
I was about to say something.
What?
But now you know if Sanji dies, he's going to be brought back.
Bro, but it's...
Well,
It's...
as much as go ahead, I'll wait for my.
No, I'm essentially done. I will say the technology itself that's impressive. Like I do want to give Vegapunk credit for that. That's kind of crazy that you can do this. But like, I'm not a fan. I'm never gonna be a fan of that stuff. So that's me.
All right, Law.
Yeah. So going back, honestly, going back to Luffy's interesting thank you or whatever. I thought of back when he was a kid, him and Ace were being trained by what's her name? Monaco
Makino?
about manners and respect and stuff like that, right? That's what I thought of, but I'm thinking in my head, I don't think she was teaching him like this way, these types of words, because, like, well, he said, "Well met, good sir." Like, you know, it's like talking like this. I think it was just more like, you know how to speak respectfully, you know, because we saw how Ace was speaking later on. He learned how to speak properly, as in showing respect to other people. But this is like different. This seems like new. Then I'm thinking, there's no way he learned this from Loki. Like, you know, like what conversation you had this with Loki, where Loki told you, this is how you got to address people in Elbaf. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe so. I don't know, but like, because it seems new. We've never heard Luffy speak like this ever. When would he have time to learn this? It wasn't over the 2 years like Ray told him. So like when? So I'm thinking, it is not back then. Was it Loki? Is it something about their conversation or their agreement that made Luffy start doing this? You know? So I thought of that, right? And I thought it was cool, like how Robin's face lighting up when she's telling Saul about the Straw Hats. You know, it shows how much, I'm not saying she's grown, as in, but like how much she's happy or complacent here. Like, you know, I don't have to worry about much because I have reliable people here that will protect me. That will, you know, that you're able to share that with somebody. How she lit up, and then, well, and the Straw Hats like crying about it. This made me laugh. Right, and just give more credit to Luffy to him being a Yonko, right? That was Saul saying. So now I want to go into like what you're talking about here, right? The Vegapunk. So I want to look back because the Vegapunk to 20 years ago. What I understand is like the Vegapunk that we said is going to be a younger Vegapunk, right? It's going to be Vegapunk we saw when he met with, I'm guessing, Dragon on O'Hara, and then he went after that. He went to go see Saul. Right, so it's gonna be a black-haired Vegapunk, not the what I'm guessing, not the older man we saw on Egghead, right? But going to what you're saying, Sebastian, right? I understand what you're saying, but also to me this speaks to the advancement of Vegapunk's brain, but also how much his technology is growing, right? He keeps talking about research and everything what he's working on, right? But also too, right? I always talk about like how he's in this being watched by the world government, right? You're doing certain things. Right? Because how does it... So there's certain things that didn't make sense for me, like what Kuma thing, right? How you're not safeguarding it and how you do it when you're being watched. Again, too, it made sense. How did you go there if you're being watched? You know? Going here. You know? So it makes more sense. This is in a way, cover-up where he covered his tracks, making a clone of himself or another replica of himself. Because, honestly, not trying to compare it to other scientists, but I thought of, for example, this is a One Punch Man reference. That one that where he had what's it called? I forgot what it was called. But I remember that one scientist. I forgot what it's called. The House
of Evolution.
The House of Evolution. There you go. Right. One thing what he was able to do is that he was able to restore his youth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Through that, and then made a bunch of clones for himself. So that every time that he got taken out, they could finish his work because his whole thing was the evolution or the further of mankind. Right. So, like, to me, it showed, like, how much... And it took him, like, years, decades to do that. The point where he actually figured out how he could do this, he was, like, almost about to pass away. But then he figured it out, and then it restored his youth. So, showing the advancement in technology with Vegapunk here, right? He's supposed to be 500 years in the future from the normal thing. And we were seeing how advanced normal technology is. But Vegapunk's supposed to be do something, like, crazy or great. So, him being able to do this, make a clone of himself, should be, well, in this One Piece world... well within his advanced mind, you know, how much he's able to store and how much he's learning and how much he's able to think and everything, right? So in this one, like, it shows the advancement of that, right? And also too, going back to like the whole you don't like it to come back. I think the way Oda wrote it is now you never know. You don't know if this person is going to come back or you don't know if this person is actually going to pass, right? Because for example, there's certain people that we would kind of want back, but we're never getting back. You know?
It's two people.
Who?
Ace and Whitebeard. That's it. That's it.
Nothing
Everybody else back, bro.
What about
That's not
Virgo?
true.
You wanted Virgo back.
Virgo probably alive.
I doubt it.
We don't know.
Right? But what I'm trying to say, but also,
Why would I assume Virgo is dead? To be real.
that is more Nami's mom.
It's a flashback.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not.
Flashback.
Flashback.
All right, whatever. But anyway,
She
like,
probably alive too, man.
I doubt it. What I'm trying to say is that, right, the whole thing that...
Saul alive?
That's different.
That's a flashback, right?
But it's different though.
But also, have you noticed the pattern here, though? It's never one that we saw actually get taken out. The only one you can kind of say is Vegapunk, but then again, his mind, he already had this. We seen this clone before we even seen, like, before we knew that he passed, right? And we already had the satellites. And then he's making other clones of other people. So him not doing it doesn't make sense for him not to, I'm not going to do it myself. I'm making clones of Crocodile. I'm making clones of Jinbei. I'm making clones of all the other Shichibukai. And I'm making sounds for myself, but I'm not going to make one of myself in case I pass?
I get it. I just don't like it.
But I think I'm just trying to show it goes to showing the how, because also too, like, if you want to compare like the scientist I talked about in One Punch Man, ultimately what he did kind of is greater what Vegapunk's doing. You know, right? Vegapunk didn't restore his youth. You know, he didn't create a bunch of thrones that that way, you know, of himself. You know, granted, Vega was more limited in One Punch Man is crazy, and some of like don't even make any sense. But one thing is the advance of what his mind's supposed to be, and now we also get limitations where he doesn't even match the mind of how the ancient kingdom does, right? So if he can't even do this, people are already knocking Vega up when they found that he had an ability. If he can't do this, who are you? How are you the greatest scientist?
Show it in another way, bro.
All right, but yeah, that's all I had to say.
All right. Before we move to Lionel, we had 2 really big super chats.
Yeah, we did.
And then I believe that Roy Stokes ended up gifting a ton too. Just want to shout those out.
Yeah, we got $100 super chat from our guy Celestial Donkey, the OG, the CD. It says #BuggyGang, #TOPT for life.
Thank you. Thank
We
you
really
so much, bro.
truly appreciate it. CD, you don't
we
have
hope
to be
I hope you're doing well in Europe.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
for real.
We really hope you're being safe.
Yeah, bro. I'm trying to find the other.
We had
I think 10 gifted memberships from Roy Stokes. So thank you so much, Roy, for gifting so much. I feel like you guys are really consistent with the gifting of these memberships.
I swear we had a 50.
I thought we did too. I'm not.
Did it just disappear?
It might have been the Joy Boy one. But
No, I swear we had a 50.
yeah, here we go. From Kane Pool, $50. It says, read after chapter. So, should I save it?
Read after
He
chapter.
basically said to read this after the chapter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will honor that request.
You want to screenshot
Yeah, I'll
it?
screenshot it.
That way we don't. Thank you so much for
Thank
the
you.
50, though. We really appreciate
I wonder
that.
where it
man.
went. Why did it disappear?
How did you find it?
It's here in the
in the
up
upper
here,
tabs.
but it's not there with the fan funding.
Okay. Guys, just heads up. It's not us, it's YouTube. But if we do not read your super chat, please inform us so that we may read it. We don't want to skip anything that you ever give, okay?
For sure. I did think we did get another 20 gifted memberships from Roy Stokes. I thought that earlier as well. So thank you. Throw the Nakama fist in the chat for Roy. He's super, super, super generous with his gifted memberships.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
you.
Roy, as always, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I just want to say one more thing because I forgot. I want to add it. It's something small. Just what I was saying also too about the Kuma thing. I wanted to add because I questioned it too in the beginning about the whole because his response was of course for fixing Kuma. When we saw in the flashback, he was crying, kind of like this can never be undone, right? Like this is irreversible. Like you're gonna be gone forever. But saying of course when they're building a lab, maybe just think of again how's this possible when you just said before, but makes me think of the growth in technology. Because this was also how many years ago with his Kuma? Maybe he found a way through either Kuma's memories or whatever, like that's what he's experimenting with that bubble thing. To me, the main thing I'm trying to say is that it could show an advancement in what Vegapunk was learning, how much he grew as a scientist. At the time when he first did Kuma, there was no way to bring him back, but now he grew in a way where I can actually fix this, you know? And it could be part of Kuma's ability where he's able to separate the mind with that bubble thing that he didn't want Bonnie jumping into. I think that could be a part of it, where he grew because he didn't have that before.
All right.
Yeah.
Lionel?
I don't have much here. I thought, again, what you guys said, I thought was funny what Luffy was doing. It actually made me, it reminded me a little bit worse a little bit when they do that, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, I thought it worse for like a couple of seconds.
Shugo and
Yeah.
oh man.
I thought of that. I also thought of the like the Yakuza boss type of thing because I think another translation they referenced a Yakuza boss, like Luffy's doing a Yakuza boss stance. Then made me think of somebody they refer to as a boss or to have a Yakuza vibe was Shanks actually. I thought maybe he learned this from Shanks some time ago. Like I don't know. I thought of that. I thought that was kind of funny. But and also like Luffy being like a boss in his pretty much in his estate as being a Yonko now that like I don't know he's trying to fit more of the role more. Like I don't know. That's what I thought of. It was just funny. You guys, I don't have much here. I was gonna bring up the whole. I understood what you were talking about. Actually, I felt like back and forth about Vegapunk coming back again, like I did, because like it's like all right, this whole thing about we thought one thing, now you're changing it, and we kind of just accepted it just to that. All right, it makes sense. We liked how that ended. Now you just almost saying forget all that. I'm bringing it back, and it's just like. But I did think of.
I already thought there was too many satellites still alive.
True.
I already was there, bro. We got like 4 satellites out there.
But again, I was thinking of, besides what I was talking about the mind thing, but also Vegapunk knew he was going to pass. Like Vegapunk, like we had a whole flashback mini arc.
There was depth to that.
Yeah.
Even that, I thought there was depth. Like I know that I can go, but I'll pass it to my satellite. You didn't even do that. You didn't even actually do that. You went, well, I know I got a clone low key, so Lilith, hold it down.
But the thing is, Vegapunk, they never took this as just in case Vegapunk passes, we're going to use this. You get me? He's just doing this now. But, like, for instance, this could just been back up off, oh, yeah, this. Like,
they sent Jinbei to get that box, bro.
Yeah, because
they knew.
But the thing is, for instance, when the Vegapunk thought he was going to pass was 20 years ago, right? Before that. After that. So, when the time that he made this clone, he didn't have his mind that he was going to pass yet. Only until, like, a couple maybe months or weeks later that he realized, I'm going to pass him because of what I've been doing. Mm-hmm. Maybe I just thought, I have my extra clone. That's what he thought of it. So, it was like, he just took advantage of an opportunity that he made for himself 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's just smart. Like, you'd be more stupid if, I forgot that clone that I made. I could just did that. You get me? Like,
I'm not mad at the intellectual feat. I'm mad at Oda.
I
get what I'm saying? Like, I'm mad at Oda's decision to allow this.
But the real Stella still is gone, though.
Man, listen.
Like, the original Stella, that's gone.
Watch out, bro.
The life form that was born and raised as a human, that one's gone.
Okay.
All these are just the things that he created.
I can't wait for Luffy to die, and then we have clone Luffy now from 20 years ago.
I mean, that's not gonna happen.
He's back. No, this is a different Luffy though, yo. It's clone Luffy, but it's fine.
But Sebastian,
because it's not him for real.
But they all legit acknowledge that they're not the original. They all say we satellites. None of them say, I'm the original.
What's this one gonna say?
It's gonna know it's a clone.
I mean,
he literally said it's not really a clone. It's not like the satellites. It's him. Biometric fluids and all that. It's him 20 years ago.
Because the other ones are his personality and have his mind. This was probably gonna have his actual DNA.
So he back.
That's not the original, though.
All right, bro.
That's like saying the S, because they have their DNA, are the S pacifistas the originals of the Shichibukai?
It's not the same.
It's not the same. They have their DNA, they have their mind, they have their personality. They have their skin color is different? What their hair is different? What's different about them, Sebastian? Because they have everything exactly the same as the originals, but they're not the original. How's it different?
It's like, pretty much think of Stussy and Beckman type of person. Is that her name? Buckingham. Like, pretty much, Stussy's legit a clone of her.
Yeah.
So, but she's not the original, but Beckman does view her as human. Say you're human, but it's pretty much that concept. Like, Beckman did that, what he did to Miss Bucky to himself, pretty much.
Them clones gonna hook up.
That's weird. My thing is, even though he's making like this clone thing, he's still gonna miss 20 years of information.
Man, stop it. He downloading information every other second.
Yeah, but the thing is different. Like, it's different because let's say he downloaded all that stuff already into his mind already. Because like, I'm not exactly sure how, like, because I don't know fully all the aspects of how they were able to like download the cloud into their minds like that. But let's say they already did it. How is he gonna know? Like, the 20 years or even what happened now. You get what I'm saying?
The dude borderline omnipresent at this point, bro.
That's still no. You can't do that. Like,
okay.
Nah, like that's like the only reason I think he had to be hooked up already to the iCloud to get all that information. Then the last second they took it off and they removed the tube. You get what I'm saying?
I'm gonna stop complaining, bro. I got you.
But I'm saying, like, I'm just saying that I get how you feel. I do have mixed feelings for it, but to me, it's like Kurama, like the stuff that the bullcrap Kurama was doing in Yu Yu Hakusho. Remember, he planted that thing how many years ago, and now out of nowhere, it's benefiting him now. How do you know that this specific spot is going to help me during battle?
No.
It was random, but like, it's this actually makes more sense than what Kurama did. You get what I'm saying? I planted this 1,000 years ago. It just happened to be the same soil where I planted it. To me, that is plot.
That was BS.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, this made more sense. I'm just capitalizing on an opportunity that I did 20 years ago for something different. Now I'm able to use the same thing to help me out later on. Like, that's all he did. That's like, I get what you're saying, but like, it's different though. To me, Vegapunk did not have this in his bag the whole time. But yeah,
in his basement.
in his basement. And also the Kuma thing, I felt the same way too. But I'm mostly going with Bonnie having a happy ending. Like, I get you, but they had so much of a dark history. Like, so much stuff bad happened to them.
Yo, he wants Bonnie to pass too, man.
Yeah, I don't want to be surprised, yo. But like, and we don't even know because we don't like what? How are you gonna go to Bonnie being next Nakba to her passing? This is how I know you're capping, bro. You're just like upset and not making any sense right now.
Hey man.
Yeah, I care with you. But
Sebastian, remember his nightmares, no more dreams.
Nightmares, no more dreams.
He wants everybody clipped.
No more dreams, bro.
Nah,
he wants the One Piece world to flood and just.
and I'm like I'm Eve and stuff.
No more dreams, bro.
Talking about me being Eve and stuff. But I don't know. You made me lose a little bit of my thought. And I didn't realize Saul's burns are like a lot all through his whole entire body. I thought it was like just on his face, but you see it on his arms and legs too.
Frostbite go crazy, bro.
I think it's it, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm done.
A lot was said. I mean, Sebastian has been pretty consistent with his thoughts about the passings in One Piece. I think just that being a complaint in the One Piece community does reflect on, hey, we would like a little bit more weight on certain people to help us feel more connected to the story, because it kind of makes us disconnect from the story when we know that things are always going to work out in their favor or there's no real consequences. We kind of complained about that during Wano, that the consequences of the arcs never seem real. It's just real temporarily. So I get that part. I do want to, I guess, put in a better light the way that Vegapunk has worked throughout the history of One Piece. It's been shown that Buckingham was his earliest clone. That was very long ago, because Buckingham is so old right now. I think that when he was when he shown us during Egghead that he was able to replicate organs and create organoids, I've always suspected that was an amazing technology, but that's also very specific. So when you build when someone needs a heart, they need specific measurements. It needs to match, their cavity in their chest. Like, there's a bunch of complicated things in that. So I always assumed that he had the meticulous details of DNA to reconstruct it to a person's body and replicate its exact nature. That way the heart can just be transplanted like if it was the original heart itself, right? Now, it comes to a point where we even said with the Seraphims, if he replicates a person, does it get those person's memories? And if so, do they inherit the person's will? Because if that is true, then that means that whenever Boa Hancock was or her DNA was taken, up to that point, that's how strong the Seraphim should be. But the original person, Boa Hancock, after that moment, her DNA was collected. If she gets stronger than that, then that means that the Seraphim could get stronger too, but it's never going to be as strong as the original because the original kept building upon it. So I think what Vegapunk ended up doing was he ended up being able to clone people, but he was never able to replicate the exact same consciousness. And I think he wasn't able to do that until he met with Kuma. So like that moment that he met with Kuma was after his meetup with Dragon, because the Dragon stuff was 22 years ago, and then the Kuma stuff happened like years after that, probably like 2 years or something, like a little bit longer after that. So to me, it was like during that moment with Kuma, he was like, yo, can your power like push out someone's consciousness, essentially, or push out their spirit? I think that's when Vegapunk started having his mind reel, and he was like, oh snap, maybe I don't have to like have this clone develop into its own person, but instead I can actually transfer consciousness itself to another person. It would be the exact same consciousness. And I think that maybe he already cloned Kuma's power into Esper. Mm-hmm. So he had this power on deck. So my theory is like, I'm saying a lot, but what I'm essentially saying is that yes, he might have recreated perfectly himself, but that's not actually his self, the way Lawrence said. His original self passed away. That's weight, regardless of what you think it is. Yes, is the character coming back? Absolutely. Yes, did he transfer his consciousness from that person to this person? Absolutely. But he's already done it with the satellites. And he did it in specific ways where he dissected his consciousness into 7 beings, and they had their own consciousness. So it's like, if he's already capable of doing these meticulous things, he should be able to do something as small as this, because in comparison, this doesn't even amount to what he's actually been doing. So for me, there's a give and take. There's a give and take, because the give is like, yo, here's another Vegapunk, he's alive. But the take is, but that also, the original Vegapunk is completely gone from this world.
I hear you, and I actually like what you said. There is weight to it, but I think that it opens Pandora's box. What's stopping him from doing this 70 times in a row? And now Vegapunk's immortal. Because he could just keep doing this forever. It's 1,000 years in the future, and we got Vegapunk 76 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter, because he just keeps doing this. He could do this for anybody, apparently.
So I can give you some comfort, and this is where it ultimately will satisfy you. The people that he felt his technology couldn't be replicated to their point, because he just wasn't as advanced as them, because he didn't have like a energy source that was infinite, was the Ancient Kingdom. There's nobody alive currently today that's from the Ancient Kingdom that's human, or even a clone. And I'm pretty sure they were capable of such things back then. So there must be a point where somebody stops Vegapunk from doing such things ultimately.
But is that him? Like, is it him who stops himself?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? Because we literally had his best friend snipe him, and that wasn't enough. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't know, man.
Well, he hasn't done it already.
He's doing it now.
No. I'm talking about like making a bunch of himself, right? We almost
No, I didn't
lost...
say a bunch. I'm saying, say this new clone is 10, 12, 20 years in the future. Oh, I might die. Let me get another clone up. So when this body goes, I'll have another one. And I just keep doing that every 10, 15 years. Yeah. So I'm here. That. I stand the test of time.
But it can be stopped, though, because not like Vegapunk hasn't been stopped before with all this other stuff, and he's not that strong.
Yeah.
So...
He got strong friends.
No, because like, if they weren't, for example, if they just wanted to destroy everything and not try to preserve things, all Vegapunk's stuff is lost. Mm-hmm. There's no satellites, there's no his conscience, there's no nothing. If they just wanted to not save his creation, all that is gone. If you have someone that just wants to do that, Vegapunk is done for.
I mean, there is a loophole that Vegapunk has found in order to stay alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what it is, he's able to conjure up the same memories that he formulated through years and years, right? That's what makes him a person. That's what Vegapunk was telling Kuma, is memories what make you, right? So the fact that Kuma could come back as well, I didn't know how to feel about it when I first read it. I kind of was like taken aback because it was just like so sudden. I wanted it to be a little bit more complicated, but it seemed like Lilith was just like, yeah, you can do it.
That would
The only thing that troubled me was when Vegapunk received the news of murking Kuma so harshly when he had to do it, when he had to erase his mind. It felt like to me this was the end of Kuma officially. Now Vegapunk seems to be thinking like, Lilith is seemingly saying, I could bring back Kuma to like what Kuma was. And that part isn't consistent for me because now I'm like, well, you couldn't do that before, but now you can.
Yeah.
And you're right, the technology has gotten better for sure, and maybe Vegapunk has tried to find a way through all these years, but that was also never insinuated during the Egghead arc.
True.
So for me, I'm kind of like, I'm in the same ball league as Seb. I think personally, in this, my opinion, I think Kuma should just stay down. Maybe Vegapunk could come back because Vegapunk has, his island still floating with the other, satellites. And they're currently doing whatever they're going to be doing and then going to Weathera. So it's like, I get it. But the Kuma thing, I'm having an issue with right now. Mm-hmm. I really do.
I only have one thing. I was going to bring it up, but I didn't look at that chapter and panel. But the only light that I feel like that changed Vegapunk's mind is what he saw what Kuma did to Saturn, which Vegapunk himself didn't understand at all.
That's true, too.
Yeah, because he thought Kuma was gone. Then he said, my science, whatever, can't explain this. Like he was dumbfounded when he saw that. So that may give him, there's something there that I could possibly bring back Kuma. And that's probably the light that he's hoping for. But to him, to us, that's the only link I can think of why Lilith is saying yeah.
But then that brings up the point. It's like, I guess the show's based on willpower. I mean, as long as like there's a will in somebody, then like they'll be able to do whatever they need to do to come back. But I don't understand how that could be explained from Kuma's situation. And I think that's just my lack of imagination or creativity. I'm not Vegapunk. I'm not Oda, right? Yeah. Like I'm not a scientist. And we're dealing with things that are obviously fantastical. So it's like, how do I bypass that thought of thinking like Kuma shouldn't be passed away? How is this not somewhat triggering? When you sat through everything that Kuma meant to Bonnie and what he meant towards the story of Kizaru and Vegapunk and feeling the sadness and traumatic event of losing such a friend that meant so much to you and knowing that his sacrifices, it kind of like belittles Kuma's sacrifices. Like what he did meant something to him as long as Bonnie could experience what she was going to be able to experience, and that was life after her considered end date, So it's like, now that's gone. So what was it for? Was it for the dramatics of that arc?
It was to make us feel and then get this BS payoff later, bro.
No, you can think about he got rewarded. Yeah.
Reward me, bro.
Okay. Because, all that he did is just like, all right, Vegapunk, because remember, Vegapunk's last words to Kuma, right? It's like Vegapunk was moved so much, I got to figure out a way to save you. Because he was so brokenhearted about it.
And I thought of Oda could have, pretty much the whole Kuma thing with the hockey thing. And the fact that Kuma was able to use hockey and
that's true.
That pretty much that Vegapunk was dumbfounded and also what he was showing, like he remembered Bonnie, whatever. But Oda actually could have been playing that part, not I don't say foreshadowed, but had a mind toward it already. Because the Oda showed you could say, but this is not the only time you could use hockey unconscious. Whitebeard did it with Ace, and Luffy did it to Kaido. Mm. They were both unconscious. Yet, again, you could say it's different because their conscience got taken away, but they were just knocked out or sleeping. So sleeping, you shouldn't be conscious of anything. But their will still somehow manifested during those moments. And Oda could be playing, giving tidbits of, you saw it here, you saw it here. He might make something even bigger now. So I don't know. But that's the only thing, because in a way, this is the third time we've seen it. Hockey being used when somebody's unconscious.
I guess we could throw it up to to make it more accepting. Vegapunk is kind of an F up, right? He's been shown to say, hey, I can do these amazing things, but I make some really big mistakes, and I'm kind of ignorant to most things. It's just that I'm really close to solving most problems. So he probably, in his mind, thought that he was erasing Kuma's will entirely, but then he found out later that he didn't. which is kind of like the same thing he did with Momonosuke's fruit.
Yeah, it's when new context is added, it changes his hypothesis.
Yeah, he's
Which
like,
is fine.
oh snap, I recreated the devil fruit, but it's pink. My bad. So it's like he's been known to make mistakes, but also perfect the creation to a degree.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point of like a scientist. This was actually said in Bleach. I forgot that guy's name with the baby Bankai. I forgot his name.
He's like blue. That weird scientist?
Yeah, he's a guy that all right, anyway,
Yeah.
who do you fault? Well, basically he said like the beauty of being a scientist is that you're forever chasing perfection, but you never actually obtain it. And if you ever do, then there's no point in being a scientist.
They said his name is Mayuri.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody that said it. But that's one of the most beautiful things about Vegapunk is that he's always searching for perfection, but if he ever finds it, then there's really no point in him ever inventing something again. I mean, I feel like this is more complicated than like what happened at the end of this chapter, to be honest, because everybody's by the shock value of what happened at the end of the chapter, but for me, it was here, and that's why like I broke this into like the separate section of the chapter because there's so much to now think about regarding what Vegapunk is just doing, and I think that's the point of his character to always be like, what the f, right? Yeah. But I feel bad for Seb. I know, like, you're not liking it too much. I don't know how to feel about it too much either, but I don't have, like, the huge dislike.
This ain't the first time Oda's disappointed me, bro. I'll be okay. But,
yeah,
it's all right. I was just salty when I read it, and I was salty again reading it again. But I'm fine with it. It's just annoying to me.
All right. Listen, we're going to do... a couple super chats. Let's make sure we hit the 50 bomber that we just got, and then we're gonna go into the second part of the chat. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, do you think? We did get a $50 super chat from McDaddy Dev. Thank you so much for the generosity. It says, considering matchups for the Red Hair Pirates and Straw Hat Pirates matchups, there's been a debate over who Zoro would face. Would y'all like it if Mihawk joined the Red Hair Pirates, or if it were to be revealed that Mihawk could have been a former member? Oh, thank you, Mac Daddy Dad. We've actually had this conversation a little bit on the pod in the past. I do know that a One Piece YouTuber has a theory saying that Mihawk used to be a member of the Red Hair Pirates. I actually did like that theory a decent amount. So I've always kind of subscribed to it as a possibility that if they ever did face off, that... Zoro would fight Mihawk, and then like Sanji would fight Ben Beckman, because I think that kind of made more sense to me. Ben's not a swordsman. He smokes a lot. He seems like a smarter, smoother guy, while he always just, him and Zoro never really seemed as a match, in my opinion. And then obviously the Usopp one, I think that's a given. Based off their size, I guess Jinbei and Lucky Roo, I don't know. Beyond that, it's just kind of hard to tell. Obviously, Luffy versus Shanks. But I've always liked the Sanji versus Ben and Zoro versus Mihawk element. I did actually really like that theory. So I won't get into names and stuff, but check it out if you can.
My only thing, it's not a pushback, but it's just like, I guess you could call it headcanon, but I'm not saying that he is. It's only with that one episode where I alluded to before. About it was about the Film Red movie, and how they give the special episodes about it, right? They kind of like gave a hint during those episodes that Ben Beckham might be a conqueror, right? Not saying that he is, but the way they hinted it was similar to how Zoro was hinted at it, right? Back at Djibouti, right? So with that in mind, if he is, right? And now we haven't gotten yet that Mihawk is or he's not. We're still waiting for Oda to tell us about Mihawk, right? We could speculate he is, but it wasn't hinted the way Ben Beckham is, and it's not much of a hit. It's not a great hit, it's just the way it was. I just thought it was interesting. Like, that's what they did with here. I wonder, right? So now if he is, to me, it's just like Milao kind of like complained, so to speak, about how Zoro he's not getting his conqueror battles, right? But now in this situation,
he has an opportunity to fight. He has an opportunity to fight,
but now he's fighting. Say like Mihawk is not. If Mihawk is one, great. Then
I think.
But then if Mihawk's not, then Zoro's fighting him, and then Ben. Then now it goes into even Sanji. Sanji's supposed to win this fight against someone who's supposed to be a conqueror's level at this level against Ben Beckham. You know. So I don't know. It's I have mixed feelings about it. I don't know how he's going to do it. Is he going to are all the Straw Hats going to fight the Red Hair Pirates, or is it just going to be Luffy and Shanks while they kind of watch, you know? Or they're going to have, like, you know, it's Shanks and Luffy and Mihawk and Zoro while the rest watch, you know? I can kind of see that. I don't know how Oda's going to do it. But this is something I thought of about, yeah.
Are we still on that 50 bomber?
Yeah.
Let's do 3 more super chats, and then let's get to the second part of the chapter.
All right. But thank you again for your generosity.
Yes, thank you.
We got another 2 months at Nako Status from Y2K. It says, looking forward to your reaction seeing stabs with a laughing emoji. We will get there. We promise. Another 5 from Ramon. It says, Crash Out Seb was wildin' on Saturday. By the way, I'm holding Larry up on stream right now like Kuma to Rosewald. The St. Larry payroll got its perks. What's wrong with you? And then another 5 from Flamingo. We did not forget your super chat. I did see you earlier in the chat. It says, who wins? Crocodile versus Zoro. Merry Christmas to all of you. Hashtag Larry is the GOAT. Hashtag pay your Larry tax. Hashtag free Mark. Hashtag broker. Broker, I hope you noted that. And
Zoro.
Yeah, Zoro. Zoro.
Zoro versus Crocodile.
Oh, Zoro. Hands down. Yeah. I don't even know how to ask a question.
All right, let's get back.
Do this one.
Oh, okay. Another 2 from Kecker's Boy. It says, Loki was framed is gaining traction. Vindication. We'll get to it, man. We will get to it.
All right.
I don't know.
Let's do the second part, and then, guys, we'll go back into super chats. There's a lot of super chats, guys, but there's a lot of chapters still left, so just bear with us for the time being. We'll read your super chat for sure. Believe me, we are going to read them. Like you saw in the chat we posted, it. You know, usually when there's really big super chats, we want to hit those first because that's, you know, to show our appreciation. But all the chats get read regardless, right? So just give us some time. Like, don't beast out on us. It's still a podcast. We're still trying to get through the chapter, right? So, next we are shown giants that are children calling out to Saul. They want to play. A female giant says this spring is normally the children's playground. We asked them to stay quiet for Saul's little act. Then she makes fun of Saul because Robin saw through it. It turns out this female giant is 𝙀𝐽𝐬. I think that's how you say her name.
I've been saying Angie this whole time.
Same.
Say it how you want. I'm pretty sure it's 𝙀𝐽𝐬.
It probably is.
If you search it up on One Piece Wiki, it'll tell you the exact pronunciation. She's Saul's assistant at the Owl Library. She doesn't want to talk down to them, but they run the best library and school in the world. She could show them around if, all of a sudden, Luffy and Usopp take off. Then we're shown the Walrus School in its full glory. It's where the children of Elbaf learn. Saul founded it 20 years ago, behest of the former king. Saul says goodbye to 𝙀𝐽𝐬 and 𝙁𝙗 as they show Usopp and Luffy around, but he wants to take Robin to the library. The Straw Hats each pick up where they wish to go on Elbaf. The children of Elbaf call Luffy Usopp and Zoro pipsqueaks, and Zoro considers cutting them. Usopp tells him not to even think about it. A female giant, child giant, says to stop chasing the humans around and not to call them pipsqueaks to her friends. Luffy's surprised by their wimpy behavior because they cower to her. Zoro wants to know if those brats are really warriors from Elbaf. One child giant tells Zoro not to call them that. Usopp doesn't mind the name calling, but he wants to know if one day they'll set out to sea to fight Ruffians. They yell back, no, that's dangerous. Usopp doesn't get it. They're supposed to be the next generation of giant warriors. The female giant who scolded the others yells to not to call them guys. Another says that way of thinking is old. Zoro wants to know who said that, and Usopp wants to know why. We then see an adult female giant by the name of Ripley. Luffy's on top of her breast. She says the warriors of Elbaf ransacked the world 100 years ago. She's the biology teacher of the Walrus School. She tells them that pillaging, violence, and war isn't the world they live in anymore. She welcomes them and tells them she heard about them from Saul. She's sorry their brats are annoying. She teaches them by negative example. She then quotes the late King Harold, who said, "Don't fight other countries. Trade with them." And then Usopp's like, King Harold. And then we hear from Ange that he was a great king who tried to reform the Elbaf country, but he was murked by his own son, Loki, before his dreams could be realized. But the country refused to give his son the throne. And so Elbaf now has no king. And then all we hear is, okay, history lesson over. Go and show them around the school, kids. And then they go, yes, Miss Ripley. And then she goes, go on. And then she asks Luffy, why aren't you in your white form? And she was looking forward to that. And then Luffy replies, oh, that's my free form. And then Ripley replies back to him, there's a warrior who looks like that in Elbaf's mythology. And then Luffy's like, oh yeah? She's like, yeah, it made my heart race. We're the last generations of giant warrior pirates. And then we see Soul go, oh, so you've already heard most of the story. Basically, I fled for my life and managed to get here to Elbaf. But I couldn't help but worry about the books those scholars gave their lives to protect. So I asked Hadruden's crew to take me back to Ohara. When I found all those tiny books clinging to life, I wept. And then he opens the door to the owl library, and he says, come in, Robin. But watch out for that book. And then all of a sudden, the book that was in Robin's hands gets gigantic. And then we hear Soul laughing, and he goes, ain't it something? All those books are now giant-sized. Every book you bring in here turns huge. This is the wondrous Owl Library. In here, you'll find all the texts that Ohara protected 22 years ago. We searched all over the island to find every last one. You can check. They're all here. And then you see Lilith, Chopper, Bonnie, Saul, and Robin, and they're just all amazed by its collection. And then Robin thinks back to when Dr. Clover said this is the world's best library on Ohara, and if she liked books. And then Soul, basically, eyes win, says, I can't believe I finally get to show you this. And then Robin tears up as she looks at, at the library. All right, that was a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. I think you skipped the part, but don't
Did
worry
I?
about it. I think so, but don't worry about it.
All right, my bad if I did skip a part. But anyway, guys, yes, this is, the second part of the chapter. What did you guys think? And we'll start with Law.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find where. Anyway, there's a lot here. And,
Yeah, it's a lot. My bad.
No, it's okay. I'm just going to go in just the small parts that, I guess, caught my attention. Right? I'm going to go. See, so I was kind of with the low-key theory a little bit. All right, it may have some track to it, right? But now what we got here through this thing here made me think, Loki may have just took out his pops because of how we're getting his character, right? Yeah. How, for example, we're getting these pirates saying that how much Elbaf has changed, right? They're going to do things where they're the last generation. So if you want to put Loki, it makes more sense that Loki is part of that last generation of warriors with all the ones that are full grown. That's Hadruden, right? Ripley, all of them. They're the last generation of warriors. But all these younger ones, right, coming up, they're not training to be warriors anymore. And then you have their king saying how we're no longer going to be really fighting them. We're going to be trading them. We're going to be seeking knowledge. It's a different Elbaf, right? Going back to Loki's statements when we first saw him, I'm kind of showing he's just war-driven warrior, right? That I'm going to destroy the world or something like that. May have disagreed with his father's ideology and what he believed in what he was trying to do with Wano, right? Because you talked about how Elbaf was in the past, right? It kind of seemed like he embraced that. That is Elbaf, and probably just changing it now. He's just like, nah. So to me, framing to kill him, he probably could love his dad why he didn't do it, But and then that's later on, so I'm not gonna say that right here. But what I see right here, it could be that we don't know yet. I'm not saying that he did. I'm not saying that he didn't. But to me, it's looking more like he did do it. More in different beliefs of opinion is that he's trying, and if he wanted to be king too, because he claimed his throne, right? After it, he's thinking that now I'm gonna put Elbaf where it should be. We are the warriors. We are better than all this. We are the war country. So it's I think he's trying to embrace back to what it was, not this new future that he, I guess, disagreed with his father. Right? So So
Make Elbaf great again.
that's pretty much that's
funny.
what Loki was going on, man.
That's wild.
Right? And so that's what I believe about that. And we'll discuss it more when we all go. And I just want to mention here, then I'll end my turn. For some strange reason, it's not exactly the same, but this library here with this big old owl here reminded me of the Avatar.
Yeah.
Right? Where they had that in that desert in the sand thing, where that giant bird was the guardian of the library, right? And then what they tried to do in the Avatar was try to find a way where the eclipse was, right? And then, but the main thing was that the bird disliked any humans using the knowledge in there for war, right? That if you went in there, like he'll take you out or attack you or whatever. So the point where like when they lied to him about doing it, he tried sinking the whole library, right? It made me think of now with his new. What Saul's idea, because Saul also mentioned in the past that he's not like those warriors, those savage warriors of Elbaf, right? And now he's kind of seen him, he agrees probably with that, the ideology that the king was saying, right? About peace, knowledge, and trading, right? Because he wasn't really that, a violent warrior like how he viewed them anyway, right? So now, I wonder if, it's memory of that, if it's a similar setup. That's what I got. You know, with this giant, I don't think it was an owl, though, in Avatar.
It was an owl.
It was an owl, too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So it just reminded me of that. So very interesting, and I guess we could, so let's go so we could open up for a discussion.
All right, Lano.
I don't have much here, but the one just actually made me think of something again. If Loki did take out his father, it just again would remind me of ~$𝙁𝙁𝙪𝙁. Like he took out his father because they had different views on certain things. Like and it's always actually about them going about, I guess, peace or certain matters that just conflict to what they're used to. Like Loki's used to being a warrior race, pretty much warrior island and stuff, and now your father's promoting peace and and kindness and stuff. And pretty much in Loki's like, no, that's not what we're about. We're about fighting in combat and fighting to the death. And like him disagreeing with that could have led to him taking out his father. Granted, we don't know. Like he could have disagreed with his father, but like me taking out my father, that's crazy. Like I don't know if he has that mindset of ~$𝙁𝙁𝙪𝙁, but he could. Because there's other stuff that I see that Loki reminds me of ~$𝙁𝙁𝙁 and Kaido. I even thought of like how ~$𝙁𝙁𝙁 is even like locked up in ~EPO Down, how he ended his arc is the same way, similar to how Loki came back. Like when we first see Loki, we see Loki tied up to a tree in the underworld. Well, ~$𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁's in a way tied up to a ship going to the underworld. Pretty much the ~EPO Down. I thought that there's a lot of similarities where I thought of Loki and Kaido and linking to Loki. And I wonder if there's going to be other similar links to them. Just like on panel what we see on their history and whatever. But I don't know. But that's what I thought of with mostly. But it could be the other theory going on with what other people are saying. I thought this was pretty interesting. With the whole book thing, it's just interesting. But I'm trying to think, is it going to be easier to read though? Like if the books are so big, because all the books are this big. Or it's going to be, I don't know. I just find it like, why? I mean, for giants, it makes sense, but like, I don't know.
I also kind of thought is a way to, I guess, to prevent them from stealing the books, taking them out of the library, because they're huge.
But would it go back to miniature
Once-
if the books leave the room?
I guess. I have no idea.
I don't know. I can't call it. But, yeah, I don't have much here. I mean, also, it's stupid. Luffy's always going on the big girl's breast.
Yo, facts.
It's like all the time, bro. Like, and it's like he's not even like Sanji do it pervertedly, like on purpose. Luffy's unknowingly doing it, but just like
Some people just blessed, bro. You know?
it's just funny.
It's
Imagine
stupid.
Luffy was a low key Sanji on the low, like he knew he was doing.
Momo would be more the accurate.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I don't. But that was it. I don't have much here after that.
All right, so
I have a decent amount to say, so I'll try to keep it short. One, I thought the kids trying to like play in the thing and like Saul stopped them. I thought that was funny, cause like you really like stopped these kids from doing what they was doing. And who knows how long you've been like sitting here
seriously.
trying to set this up? Like, come on, bro. All right, so let me get down to the nitty gritty. The culture change. Shout out to King Harold, because I know we've had polarizing figures in the One Piece world before, like 𝙀𝙀𝐻𝐼, and like I'll go more specifically with Fishman Island, like Fisher Tiger, where they're trying to change the view of a race, the view of a culture, the habits, like how they act. Because 𝙀𝙀𝐻𝐼 was trying to change how Fishman Island viewed humans. Fisher Tiger was trying to change how the world viewed fishmen. And it's a lot. It's courage to do that. And yes, he had his Del Fruit, and yes, he was the king, but it's hard to do that, to implement change. And he seemingly had done so. Again, it could all be a lie. I don't know. But based off the information we've had so far, he has turned the Elbaf warriors who be fighting over petty arguments, where that's why they're saying, you can't say those words anymore, because people were fighting to the death for calling people bastards and other dumb things like that, to this more peaceful, idyllic nation that like has trade. And like those decisions are the reason why we even have the Sunny to this day. Like Frankie was able to get the Atom Wood because King Harold opened up the trade of actual resources and goods outside of Elbaf. Like we wouldn't have that. So like it's crazy that they'll know that this guy's decisions in this island, millions of miles away from where we were at in the story, had a major impact on even the Straw Hats. So like I like that. I like that kind of story writing that Oda has. Yeah. And again, for you to change this kind of a culture in, obviously it's been a lot of years because they're giants. It's probably been like hundreds of years.
Yeah, even Roger's time, because Roger got the Atom Tree too as well.
So it's like, it's just kind of wild, but it's dope to see that. And I like that we had like a little bit of a parallel to this in Wano, where we saw Hiyori, like they were teaching the kids, remember, not just Hiyori, but they were teaching the kids about Odin to correct what they had taught them about the history of the Kozuki clan from Orochi's time. So now you're seeing these kids learn the new Elbaf and the new traditions, the new culture, the new way of living here. And I like that, like, education is a focal point here as it's been in other areas. So I like that. Ripley Fire. She bad, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I know I forgot her name earlier, but she like that, bro. And she giving Gerd a run for her money. Mm-hmm. And I put up in the chat, like, Waifu of the Week, Elbaf edition. I forgot to put Angie in here. She probably wasn't gonna make it anyway, but to each their own. But Ripley won. I know she the new sauce, but the sauce is good. You know what I'm saying? In regards to the King Harold part, I already talked about how he was seemingly a great man and with a great mission and a goal. They revisited the Loki killing him piece, which to me, although I do agree with what you're saying a bit, Lawrence, I think there is merit to that thought process, or at least that idea train that Oda wants us to think. Like, hey, he might have literally killed his pop for this reason. He might have disagreed with these thought process, with this change in culture. The same way people disagreed with 𝙀𝙀𝐻𝐼, and she got assassinated for it. If it's your own son who has this major difference in philosophy, and he sees a means of seizing power and changing the culture back to what he wants it to be, would he go that far? We don't know. We don't know enough about Loki to say, right? So I don't like people being too far on either side of the fence. I think both things are very much possible. But ultimately, obviously the entire Elbaf kingdom doesn't believe him, where he says, whatever he said, like, they haven't allowed for his hegemony to be taken shape, right? So that's interesting to me. That's the second or third time Luffy said, "This is my freest form." I know he said to Bonnie. Did he ever say it again?
I don't remember.
Yeah, but
I think no.
I think he did. Or we just
I feel like there's a third time he said this. But, well, he said that I'm free, like I feel free when he turned it before. But in general, like that whole, "that's my free form," like I like that. And her speaking to it, basically saying, "Oh, there's a warrior that looks like this." I like that they're saying it directly to Luffy again. Yeah. Because Dorian Bragi kind of said it to Luffy before too. Like, "Yeah, you look like the sun god," blah, blah, blah. So it's weird to me, though, because we brought this up before as well. In their mythology, like, they have this sun god warrior, Nika person, but like Loki keeps referring to the fruit that he ate as the sun god fruit. So what is that fruit? Mm-hmm. Like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we've had our theories and discussions of it, but like, they actively know what Nika's supposed to look like. Straight up. Even Ripley. I mean, she's a teacher, she's educated, but like, they know. Anybody of that era knows what the sun god is supposed to look like. But then we have Roto. Yeah. portraying whatever the hell he was supposed to be and saying, I'm the sun god. We have Loki saying, I ate the sun god fruit. So what is it exactly? I'm still curious as to where we are with that. What's up?
No, I thought of something before, and I'm mad because I forgot to mention it. I forgot about this part. The fact that she linked, you know, it made my heart race, right? We're the last generation of warriors here, but she linked that to Nika.
Yeah.
In a way, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if the reason why they're warrior race is because of Nika.
Could be.
They modeled their warrior style of how they are as to that person, you know? I didn't even think of that because her linking it that way has to mean something. Why do you say we're the last generation of warriors? Linking it made my heart race because like that, right? And then how they hold Nika. I think the reason why they became a warrior nation or country, or whatever, is because of Nika. Because he seems like he's the warrior of liberation.
Yeah, he's because they call him the White Warrior too, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Like Warrior of Liberation, the White Warrior, something like that. So his thing is warrior, like whatever. And also, like they even showed him he has a sword and a spear in his hand.
I don't have much else, but I will get into the owl thing a little bit. I also had that memory of Avatar and that same connection with if you use any of the books or the knowledge here to incite war, he was going to try to take you out. I wonder if this owl will do the same thing under some pretense from King Harold. Like if you try to incite war with the knowledge that's gained here, like he'll attack you or something. The owl itself, I took notes here based off of a little quick Google search, but owls in libraries have a connection throughout multiple mythologies, multiple historical connections. They're basically supposed to be connected to wisdom. And that stems from basically them being nocturnal creatures and always having their eyes open so they see and hear everything. So it's like they're supposed to be intertwined with like knowledge because of that reason. So that's why you'll see owls in owl libraries and stuff like that.
Was there any owls in O'Hara? Or an owl?
I was trying to remember that, but I didn't have time to go back and look.
I don't remember seeing
I don't remember either.
Yeah. It's wild that these books are turning giant.
Yeah.
Like what? Where that?
I think that's the owl's ability.
Is that like an ability? Like what is happening here to make that happen? That's kind of wild. Also, like what if I want my book to be giant?
I thought
I'm not a giant. I don't need a giant book, bro.
I thought it was something stupid when you said that. But it also matters how big this owl is. He does it because he can't see the writing. He makes the books. I can't see, man.
Oda would do that.
But it is dope that Robin's still having these flashbacks of O'Hara like in a positive light, right? Like it's such a negative connotation in her life that like her thinking back to it positively is dope. So I really like that it ended with that little scene there. Overall, really strong chapter. Like a lot to talk about. We have more to talk about to come, but in general, like I thought it was dope, and I thought the owl library looked cool. I thought the owl kind of looked stupid though. I ain't gonna lie. Oda could do a better job of
the owl.
Yeah,
he's wearing a cape.
Yeah,
I think when we get closer in, it'll look better.
I hope it'll look better on a close.
Do you think he can talk?
It's gonna be the owl from Rock-a-Doodle-Doo.
Oh my god! Oh my god, bro! I hope 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 character. 10 out of 10 character. You know what that is? Oh my god!
That is funny. You're stupid.
Oh my god! That is such a deep cut, Lord. I know 90% of the chat has not seen Rock-a-Doodle-Doo, bro.
They don't know nothing.
All right, that's it for me. I'll stop it.
Yeah, I feel like you guys did a lot of what I was gonna say already, so I don't have anything really to say.
Okay.
But what you could do, you could throw up the poll really quick for who they want to get pied in the face. Because
oh yeah, we reached our goal. Okay.
we reached our goal, so we'll do that really quick. And then after that, we'll do super chats. We'll do 5, and then we'll go right back into the end of the chapter so we can talk about everything that everybody else is talking about right now. So it should be really good.
All right, the poll is up. Let us know who you want to see get pied in the face next week. Larry, me, Lawrence, or Lionel. Let us know. Oh, man, Larry's off to the early lead, man. It's not looking good for you, bro.
You want to do super chats real quick?
We'll get to super
We'll
chats.
just leave that up.
Yeah, we'll leave that up for a while.
So we're going to do 5 super chats, okay, guys? And then we're going to get into the final part of the chapter. What I would like for you guys to do, if you can like the stream, like the video, it does us so much. So thank you so much for the super chats. We're trying to get through all of them. So after the 5 we'll do now, we're going to go into the chapter, and then we'll answer the rest of the super chats, and then we're going to take Discord phone calls, okay? All right.
All right. We got 5 from Trey Dalton. It says, Larry voice, hello, hello, hello. We in this bit. I actually added Oz to that one. Y'all miss Oz, bro. Can I say that? QQ, 2-armed Shanks or 1-armed 40-year-old Rayleigh 1v1? It's almost impossible to know, bro. I'll go Rayleigh, though.
Tie.
I'm going to go Rayleigh.
Wait, what? What was it?
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Basically, the Shanks that was at that bar with Luffy versus Rayleigh at 40.
Oh, really?
I'm going Rayleigh.
Really? Yeah, I'm going Rayleigh, bro.
Yeah, you gotta go really.
Yeah.
Another, well, it technically just said 2-armed Shanks. So it could possibly mean Shanks right now just with 2 arms. If that's the case, I'm going 2-armed Shanks. Anyway,
Word.
Another 5 from, we got another Nakama who joined the crew in Mateo239. Enjoy all the emojis that come with being a Nakama. Another 5 from Diamond Life. It says, just know Larry responsible for kids not getting gifts this year. Hashtag Larry tax. Lionel misses streams because he's tired of paying the Larry tax. Low key, I don't even know if that's what he said. The thing cut out. So I'm hoping that's what he said. I was paraphrasing. I'm trying to get back to it.
We'll do 2 more.
There we go. Hashtag bust it open. Thank you, Diamond Life. Another 5 from Red Hair Shankdom. It says, if we all pay our hashtag Larry tax, Seb told me we can have DDTs back. Oh my God. My lawyer told me that's technically extortion, but I ain't no snitch. I didn't say that. Another 5 from the Outcasted Gamer. It says, how strong should Ace have been? In your opinion, compare him to a current character. I think Ace was perfectly placed as far as his strength. But
Nah, his hockey should have bloomed. We should have saw more of his hockey.
he wasn't fighting top tiers. Your hockey gonna bloom when you fighting the 4th or 5th strongest guy? Every time now?
No, it's just because, like, for example, I'm not getting into it heavy, but not that Ace was like Odin, so to speak, but to me, Odin was someone that just exuded hockey for, like, no reason. You know? Like, he was using hockey again. I always bring it up because there's no reason for him to go that hard on that board. Right? But that's
Board lived, dude.
I know. But
Oda weak.
But that's how Oda was. Everything he did, he just flexed his hockey all the time. But I'm thinking about how Ace was, how he was very, I'm gonna use the word passionate, and how Ace was, and how we seen before when he unleashing his hockey as a kid to knock out Blue Jam. I feel like Ace was the type of person that would have his hockey showing it a lot more in his fights.
And you saying him not fighting like tiers like that, because you have Yamato, you have Jinbei, and you have that Shichibukai. And that Shichibukai most likely happened when he was on the Whitebead ship. So
The hockey bloom versus any of those people?
we don't know. All the fights was off panel.
Maybe the Shichibukai. And maybe even Jinbei.
Hey, all those fights were off panel, so I'm just saying. Even Blackbeard, and that's the most one we've seen besides Yamato. So I can't call it.
All right. We got another 10 from Akuma. It says, happy holidays, hashtag BBC. Do you guys think Blackbeard ever touches the throne? Larry, Natsu definitely has conquerors. He stands 10 toes on everything. Hashtag Urza is a baddie. Hashtag Lucy can get it. Hashtag Larry tax. Hashtag better Mondays with a heart emoji. Blackbeard ever touches the throne?
I hope he does.
Like,
It would be nice.
and Mary Jo's that?
Yeah,
though?
that'd be cool. I would actually prefer he doesn't, because I don't want him to be the end game villain. You know what I'm saying? The way I want the One Piece to be found, like Blackbeard to be defeated, One Piece to be found, and then we deal with Emu. But if he's touching that throne, that means he's thrusted into the end game. You know what I'm saying?
It's not gonna grant him power or nothing.
But it's
means
more
like-
of a timing plotting
Yeah,
thing.
and they're
for
also
me.
implying that he dethroned Emo somehow.
Yeah, I'd rather they're just two
yeah.
separate big bads.
Yeah.
Another 2 Canadian from Just Call Me Scott. It says, sorry I'm late. Hashtag white guy. Hashtag Larry tax. Oh, man.
Let's go back into the chat, and then we'll read the rest of the super chats.
Okay.
Once again, guys, we will read your super chats. Just give us a second to finish the chapter. All right. Finally, we head to the underworld of Elbaf. We heard Loki speaking, saying, yes, you're almost as bored as me. And then somebody else on Den Mushi goes, am I bothering you? And then Loki responds, nah, I could use a conversation partner. And I've got all the time in the world. Are you still traumatized by that experience you're telling me about? And then we see this snow transponder snail that's cold resistant, speak recognition type. And it says, I am even now, the memory makes me tremble uncontrollably. And then we hear Loki say, hurts me to hear it too. I've never met you nor seen you, but through some twist of fate, we've been long friends. If I were there in your place, I'd have razed it to the ground and murked them all instead. And then we hear the person on the transponder say, I wasn't hoping for that much. And then we hear back from Loki, and that's why you're so weak, Shaggy. Listen, you don't want to let these fools get away. You put them down for good, or they'll come back for vengeance. And then he's the person on the line, Shaggy, says, why, thank you. And then Loki goes, what? And then Shaggy responds, I've realized recently that those fearsome words of yours hide your kindness. And then Loki goes on a rampage and says, don't make me sick. How dare you suggest such a thing? I'll not have you sassing me like this. Me? Kind? Never say that again. And then Shaggy goes, please don't shout. And then Loki says, shut up. Just you wait until I get these chains off Shaggy. And then we head to the western village of Elbaf. And then we hear people go, hey, the feast hasn't started yet. We're just drinking as we wait. And then we hear somebody go, that's a little too much. And then we go to a castle. And there's black lightning that seems to appear coming off of it. And meanwhile, while the giants are enjoying their drink, we head inside this castle. And there's two figures in dark hoods. In the next panel, we see a transmutation circle that the ʍ𝐸 used to travel to Egghead. And then within these two dark hoods, we see two people's faces. There's a face that looks like Shanks, and there's a face of someone with their face covered, but their eye is showing. So, I think it's only right we start with Seb. Seb, what did you think about the final part of this chapter?
All right, so I have no idea who Loki talking to or what they talking about, but I was interested. Mm-hmm. I was very curious as to see like what that past event and the memory of whatever it is was. I believe transponder sales are supposed to show a bit of the face of the person, and this reminded me a little bit of, I think it's 𝐽𝐽 or whatever.
It's snow resistant though.
Oh yeah, so it could just be that.
Yeah.
But I figured that was a beard. I figured it was a beard that was there. My question is, who put this transponder still there?
No, I actually realized what happened, and I'm trying to figure out how. Because if you look at Loki, he has no shirt on. He had a shirt on before.
He had a shirt on before, right? It's his transponder snail.
They're from him. I'm thinking of how did he take that off to get the transponder snail on? Unless he got the animals to help him take it off?
Maybe.
That's physically impossible. He's shaved up. How'd you get your shirt off?
Okay. That makes sense. I was like, how the heck who put this here? Okay, I didn't notice the shirt thing. But okay, go. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. But I was really interested. I was like curious as to what was happening, what they were referring to. With my thought of it being 𝐽𝐽 or whatever, maybe it could have been the Big Mom stuff. But I don't know. I doubt that. What?
No, you like Big Mom when he got smacked?
Yeah. Don't let these hoes smack you, man. And I'm like, Viv. No, I'm playing. Anyway. But beyond that, I'll get to the juicy part of the chapter. The transmutation circle and who I'm and the community has been referring to as Stabs this whole time. I don't believe it's Shanks.
Stabs.
I believe it's Shanks's. I don't want to say twin brother because that's so goofy. No offense. But
how dare you?
It could very well be a twin or a sibling or older sibling or cousin or uncle, whatever. But this person looks a lot like Shanks. And odds are, this is probably the person that showed up in Mary Jo to talk to the ʍ𝐸. So earlier we did have a super chat that was highlighting this exact moment. Yeah, it says, read after the chapter from Kane Pool, $50, so thank you again. It says, I definitely believe that Shanks is on Elbaf. I think we just finally seeing what Shanks does off panel. Also, screw Usopp if Usopp has no haters. I'm not alive. Also, this is for St. Larry's tribute. Please don't hurt me. I don't know why that was, but thank you. I don't believe that this is Shanks. So, I'm of the belief. The theory's been going around. I think Moore's dropped a huge video on it. I believe that Panini on Twitter dropped a whole thread about it, like pointing to how it's not Loki didn't kill King Harold. I don't know if you saw this or are familiar with this, Larry. I know I talked to the twins about this. There's a theory that Loki didn't kill King Harold, that this person transmutated into Elbaf 6 years ago and tried to kill King Harold or killed King Harold in order to steal his devil fruit, right? Loki witnessed it and then ate the fruit to protect it from getting taken by these people. When the mission failed, this dude basically was like, hey man, F this, like we out, because the mission failed. So they left. They realized they couldn't kill Loki, whatever. When they get to the Elbaf people get to the castle, they realize King Harold's dead. Loki's here with the devil fruit, and he's like, yo, Shanks did it. Because that dude looked exactly like Shanks. But it's like, yo, Shanks is somewhere else. He's a famous pirate who's doing battle with somebody else right now. Or Shanks is currently on Elbaf right now. Right there. How could he have been the one that killed King Harold? There's witnesses saying that he didn't. So it's like, it's a mistaken identity situation. And this would be Oda setting it up several years in the past if that person at the Gorosei we're talking to was this guy. And like we were talking about earlier, I think it was even another super chat where it's like, could it be that this person was like, yo, who the hell is this pirate? The pirate I want to talk about is Shanks, because why does this pirate look exactly like me on the ocean, like the ocean sailing, and he's just Yonko now or whatever. That was during Mary Jo, I think it was not Mary Jo, The Reverie, chapter 907, I think it is. So there's a lot of theories and stuff circulating. I don't know what to believe. I like that one. I think it makes the most sense. It ties a lot into what we see in the themes of One Piece overall. People being framed for murders or crimes they didn't commit to overthrow kingdoms and things. That kind of happens a lot. Oda likes to repeat some of the same story elements. And I think I already highlighted that I think that Loki's beginning of his story reminded me of Zoro's. And like that would be another kind of tie-in with that, where it's like I'm getting framed for a crime I didn't really commit for whatever. But I'm really excited. Like beyond all the theory crafting and stuff, I'm excited because now it looks like we have our villains of this arc. Like, I don't know what Luffy's reaction will be to these people. Like, he'll probably think this is Shanks. But in general, I'm excited to see where we go from here. I really am. I know a lot of people have been saying like this is more proof positive of what we were ranting about last week about like the Garling scarring. I don't think this is that per se. It's just more evidence to it, but there's no proof here. Yeah, anyway, but like maybe, right? There's at least this other character that potentially looks just like Shanks, or is this Shanks? And Shanks has been a mole this whole time. Who knows? Who knows yet? One day we'll know. I don't believe it's Shanks. I believe it's Stabs, which I think is a hilarious name.
Stabs.
I'm also
you better
curious.
have a better name than that.
I'm also curious as to who this other person is. Yeah. Like nobody talking about this other person. Like who that? So, but yeah, that's really it for me. I'm just excited because we got our villains, and it's up.
All right, Lionel.
Yeah, I don't really have that much on the Loki thing. It's just I just like that how Oda makes more mysterious after more mysterious. Like, who's this person that Loki's talking to? Just another. Is he somebody significant or relevant, or is he just another weakling, or is he somebody? Like, just there's always a mystery that makes us more interested in One Piece, and that's Oda's always good at doing that. Now, with this whole Shanks lookalike person. I know the side of the face like looks like Shanks, but we never see the other side. Like both times we see this person, it's always the side without the scar. And I know other chapters when you look at Shanks' face when he's talking to Bartolomeo, and you see Shanks' face on the side talking to Whitebeard, you see a little bit of the scar mark where they're coming over. Well, this you don't. And I don't know if it's the shading, if the hair or the cloak blocking it, but I'm not exactly sure. So that's what makes it probably think of it could be a different person. I actually don't know. Obviously, nobody really knows. People think it's the Shanks twin thing. And also, even I looked back to how the Gorosei talked to Shanks, or the Shanks lookalike, it was different. Like, it was weird, as if they weren't necessarily, like, it was so vague that it could have been talking to Shanks, but also could have been implying that they were talking to somebody that looked like Shanks, that he's working for them. Because the wording and how they were saying it could apply for both worlds. That's why it's so mysterious on, all right, because why would Shanks need to see the Gorosei to talk about a pirate? Like, why? And why would the Gorosei would let that happen? Like, want to listen to Shanks? or somebody, listen to Shanks. And he also said about pretty much your standing, why you're interested in politics. Like, because you're standing, you shouldn't be interested in politics. That could be, all right, why is a pirate interested in politics? Because you're a pirate. Or it could be your position is in the shadows. Like, your choice or your job description doesn't involve politics. It involves something else. So, again, it could be so many different things. I don't know. I actually started thinking of another different theory, as in, and I don't know if anybody ever thought of this, because going by Shanks' past of what we know, that Shanks was found in a treasure chest by the Roger pirates, but we don't know exactly Shanks' origin, and stuff. Just thinking off my head randomly, I just sort of did anybody thought of Shanks being modified as like genetically modified? Not cloned, but pretty much think of the 𝙃𝙗𝙪𝙢 family, like how they were genetically modified into something, and like it couldn't, because we know the 𝙃𝙗𝙪𝙢, and mostly Saturn, because he was a scientist, did a lot of experiments on people. One of them is Bonnie and his mother. And, we know that she was experimented on and gave Bonnie the same illness that she got, but also pretty much gave her ability as well. Shanks' origin is so vague, and we just know they found in the treasure chest. Whether they had connection with the world government or not, we don't know. But some mostly think that they found the treasure chest at God Valley. But I don't think they ever clarified that. I don't know if they ever clarified that the Roger pirates found Shanks and the baby at God Valley. They just said he just found them in a treasure chest some point in maybe West Blue or someplace on the Grand Line, and Shanks knows maybe that he was from West Blue. I don't know. I have to look back. I don't remember.
I think the chapter said like shortly after God Valley or something like that.
See, that's gonna
that's in a volume cover.
Yeah.
But see, again, that could mean that they found it like during God Valley, or like a little island after God Valley. They went to an island in West Blue and found Shanks. Whether he has connection to the world government or not, we don't know. But I just thought of like not necessarily like the Vince folks like making twins and now it's another twin like modification like Sanji and its quadruplets of Yanji, Ichiji, and them. But I just thought of like pretty much what that concept of Shanks being a mystery of we don't know his origin. We don't know his parents, we don't know nothing. I know people link Shanks to Fingerling, but honestly, even we watched the movie, the only thing they reference Shanks to Fingerling is when they talk about Shanks possibly being Uta's father, with a question mark, and said that if she might have Fingerling's blood. That's the only thing that, and again, that's also vague in itself. Because we know for a fact that Shanks is actually not Uta's real father, but I think people could think the fact that they thought that Uta was Shanks' father, Shanks was Uta's father, that she might actually have it, linking the Shanks possibly being Fingerling's son or whatever. But it also goes into I also thought of the modifications or the scientifics of Shanks possibly being created, and maybe using Fingerling's blood to make Shanks, and maybe another clone and stuff. But I also thought it was deeper. What if it's also I thought of 𝙃𝐸 as well. What if again, this is just all theory, just randomness, but I just thought of what if Shanks is modified also after 𝙃𝐸 a little bit. And that's what I was thinking. Before we know if this is actually really Shanks or not, or if it's not a clone, it's actually real Shanks, that also give me an illusion to why the 𝙃𝙗𝙪𝙢 would also want to listen to what he has to say, because has connection to maybe Fingerling or 𝙃𝐸 himself. And because I thought of why would 𝙃𝐸 need a clone or whatever, but I thought maybe 𝙃𝐸 what's his name? What's it called? His immortality could be running low, and he needed something to replace. For the ones give me the movie that the X-Men movie, Apocalypse, how that guy's pretty much his power and everything was there, but his body just deteriorating, and he needed in the movie that this powerful person pretty much his body was deteriorating, and he just all the power he's gonna have, he's just gonna switch it to another body. So he's gonna keep his mind and all his powers, but it's gonna be in a different body. I thought of possibly that, but I don't know if that fully makes sense, because we know 𝙃𝐸's immortality, but we also don't know what he looks like. But I'm just going by the mysteriousness of Shanks' connection possibly to the 𝙃𝙗𝙪𝙢 and 𝙃𝐸 and the Fingerling family and whatever, and plus that transportation thing they came into. So whether if Shanks is actually part of it, or if it's a twin, or it's actually both. Shanks is, but not necessarily because they were modified and there ended up being 2 versions of Shanks. One with the world government, and they Coastal could have lost that one. They're supposed to be 2, or it ended up being 2 by mistake. One got lost, Shanks, and the other one ended up staying with the Gorosei. Like a weird Iron Mask version. Like the whole Man in the Iron Mask, but a different aspect or view of it. But that's where my mind went. I just started theorizing on stupid stuff. But yeah.
All right. Before we go to Lawrence, we received a 200 banger.
We got a $200
That's crazy.
super chat. Is that the highest we've ever gotten? I don't know.
No,
it's not.
Strahd and Celestial Dragon were going at it at that one
Yeah,
episode.
I remember now.
Wow,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much, Kev.
Yeah, it says, always wanted to send a super chat to support you guys. May not be able to do so very often. Love One Piece, favorite anime or even story. Love the channel. Keep up the good work. Would love to discuss One Piece with you guys sometime. Have a happy holiday. Can't #LarryTax. #One Piece for life. Kev, I hope you're in our Discord. If you want to discuss One Piece with us, I'm relatively active in our Discord. I try to be in there daily. Larry, not as much, but he's in there sometimes. If you at him, we have an Ask Us a Question tab. The twins, non-existent, but I relay most of the stuff that's asked of us to them. And if I ever remember, I do like to let the community know what the twins had to say about something. So thank you again for your generosity. I hope you have a happy holiday. And yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with Discord or not, but definitely tap in. I believe Broker will hit you up because I think that's our highest super chat of the day. So you'll technically be able to get a theory crafted for you. And essentially, yeah, you can talk to us and talk to the rest of the One Piece community that we have at TOPT. It's a lot of fun. We do a lot of stuff with the gang there. So definitely happy to see that and hope to hear more from you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate
you.
that.
Truly.
Yes, thank you so much. That's really generous of you. We really appreciate you, seriously. Just the fact that you listened to us that long is so much more valuable than the 200, bro. You have no idea. So thank you so much. Glad you enjoy us. All right, Law. Let's hear what you got to say.
So I actually, it just hit me now. I thought of something, right? So the person that Loki is speaking to, right? That beard screams to me of a giant's beard.
Yeah.
I don't know why. To me, it's like that's a giant's beard. I'm trying to think of all the people in the One Piece show that have a beard like that. It's not many. It's like Don Chinchao and that person we saw. That old person they saw right before they met Aokiji for the first time, that guy, right? Who have similar beard, right? So this speaks to me like a giant's beard, right? But I'm trying to think, the way he is speaking, kind of like attitude-wise, seems kind of too soft to be a giant, though, right? He didn't have that attitude. So I'm thinking, who could this be? But the reason I also think why it's a giant, though, like even though maybe he could be more, he's older, more tempered, but it is a giant because going back to what Ripley said, right? She says, right, about don't fight other countries, trade with them. And he's talking about the King Herod. He says he got into many arguments with the village chiefs and their traditions, right? So now this could be added to why Loki didn't take out his father. Because it could be, if he's getting to a bunch of, for years, the arguments with these chiefs of Elbaf, it could have been they advised a scheme knowing who Loki is and how he is, to either, I thought two things. One, they could have used this to take, they knew that Loki wouldn't do it, say like that was the case, because that's his father. So they took out him and framed Loki for it, right? But also it could be in a way to like also push his claim. But they knew all of Elbaf would go to war with them. So we can't throw ourselves away. We got to wait for the right time to support Loki's claim. Right? Or they just wanted, so that's one theory, or they just wanted Loki to take the fame so they could like take him out because they disagree with the ideology because they keep arguing about the traditions of Elbaf, where they don't want it to change to this new way of culture change, right? They want to stick to the old thing. Like they align with Loki with that idea, but they don't think Loki should be their, king. So they take him out. And now I'm thinking also too, right? Because now they have no king. But Hadrun is the first son. So I'm thinking if you become, I guess, the new generation giant pirates, maybe you can't be king. You give your rights. If you choose. Either you could shoot for the throne or you become the new giant pirates captain, but you lose your rights to the throne. Because it makes no sense if he's the firstborn. The one who has the rights should be
that what you just said makes sense, because you can't be the king of the nation and then sailing the sea and you potentially get killed out on sea.
Yeah, but also you're a pirate, you know?
Yeah.
Like pretty much they're not like they have alliance with the world government, but I think they're separating between the heritage of the piracy and the king throne. So I thought of that, and it could be like could support the whole that Loki was framed, or it could be they're using it to like even support Loki, but they're just waiting for the time where Loki's taking the blame of it now or whatever. But I thought of that since the arguments they had with the Chiefs, right? And so going into everyone's talking about it, this lookalike of Shanks. So, to me, right? I'm gonna call him a Shanks lookalike, not necessarily twin, even though it basically looks exactly like.
Do y'all want them to be twins?
I don't know, because I feel like, you know how Oda doesn't try to recycle things over? He already did the twins route with the...
So you think Lionel's a recycled?
That's not what
I
said
legit
at
was
all.
asking you and Lionel specifically, like, how would y'all feel about this major twin shakeup potentially? Would that be like empowering to y'all, or like...
Do you feel like you're being
do you
represented?
feel like representation from that?
No.
No?
Not even a little bit.
Do you need a scar on your face? Is that what it is? Does one of y'all need like a permanent scar? I have one. I can give you one.
I have a scar on my eyebrow.
Was that from the controller that Lawrence threw at you?
No. Why you gotta bring up old stuff?
I forgot about that. My bad, Lawrence. I cut you off.
No. Bruh. Right? And also, too, because then if it looks like it'll be the whole same old evil twin, good twin, so to speak, you know?
See how it plays out.
So, yeah, that's true. But to me, I don't care. There's no way if you're allied with, you know, the world government or the Garcia and them, I can't see you as someone who's good. You're evil. Because everything they do is just about evil. You know, they're selfish. They only care about their own. And they're like, forget everyone else in the world. You know, as long as we eat. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really, and he's with them too. But what I want to point out, right, this lookalike, right, I thought it was very interesting because Lionel also brought up, I tried even looking to see if the symbol that they appeared on with was different from like what
it's the same.
it's the same, right? And I noticed like, from what I don't think it's Shanks. Something about it tells me that it's not Shanks. Yeah, people talk about the scar, and it's funny how it shows the same, how Oda is. The same exact side when we see him when he first showed, that's the side he's showing. You know?
Yeah.
He gave us nothing more. The same exact frame. You could have but he didn't though. You could have copied and just pasted because, but he didn't though, right? But also too the fact that last time we see Shanks was with just leaving Bartolomeo, his island, but doing what they did to Bartolomeo, right? And then having time to do this to me doesn't make sense. Also too, Shanks kind of shows that he's like always with his crew. Right? The one time we saw that he left his crew, he was on Mary Jo's, right? But to me, that seemed like suspect. Like I know you just leave your crew, right, to go here. Like, where do they think you're going, or where do they know you're going here? But this, if it's not Shanks, to me, it makes more sense that someone else is moving this way. But also, I want to go into, right? I know people are saying this is like a confirmation about Garling and all that stuff, right? But I can't help but notice, and this is nothing really. But the way Lionel brought out, the way they spoke to supposedly Shanks lookalike on chapter 907, and the way they spoke to Garling on, I think it was like 11 whatever. I have it here. I just forgot the number, right? Is very, very different, right? They actually kind of give, so before I say anything, I'm just going to read it briefly, right? It says, this is the Gorosei speaking to Shanks lookalike, right? And it says, what do you want, right? Why would you come all this way? This is the reverie given your standing. You should have nothing to do with politics. We arranged this time on your request. And then the Shanks lookalike says, I appreciate that. Right? And then they respond, let's hear what you have to say. Guards, leave us, right? And so notice the tone here that they give Shanks, right? Kind of like relatively respectful, mild, whatever, you know? But if you check the tone that they give Garling when he rolls up, right? When he pulls up, they said, what do you think you're doing here, Garling? Right? I'm here on orders, on important orders. Orders? What orders? From whom? Where's your proper difference, Garling? Know your place. Right? So the attitude here seems like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know why, not saying that it means anything, but I always thought that was weird. Why, Garling's basically one of their own. Yeah, he may be at a lower status at that time, right? But he's still high ranked because he's the captain of the Royal Guards, right? He's not one of the other celestial dragons that have no rank, right? He's ruling over the celestial. He judges them, right? He's probably at a rank just below you guys, you know? Why is that? Why is this Shanks lookalike kind of giving more of a respectful tone in response to them showing up?
I have one reason why. And to me, it seems that he asked for an audience.
Okay.
Versus Garling just pulling up with no request to meet.
Yes, I thought
that was my one,
Yeah.
Because I read that, I was like, yo, they came at Garling a little crazy.
Yeah, right?
And they didn't come at this dude a little crazy. This person seemed to have asked for an audience with the Garce and was granted one, similar to Cobra, while Garling just pulled up, strutting in like, hey, man, sup?
Yeah.
This is my crib. This how y'all living? Is my couch.
Right. So no, I thought of that too, but let's also go into like, for example, right? So even if this is like, that's why I say I don't think this is a Shanks. This is like Shanks himself, because even if it was a request, like he also is a pirate, right? And if he supposedly has for Garling blood, but look at how they treated the father, right? So I'm thinking with the Shanks look like, to me, he has a different status. And also too, that thing about politics shows that you're standing. I understand, like, all right, you're a pirate and your ranking may not necessarily do with politics, but then you kind of see that Yonkos kind of own their own countries, you know? To a certain extent, they have their own territories. Yes, it's not reverie level, yeah, they're doing this, but the fact that you're standing in politics kind of seems something different as in your arrangement here. It's not the same as what a Yonko is. Because not like Yonkos wouldn't have no type of interest in the reverie at all, right? Because they're taking over territories. But if you have something different, this is why I believe this is not Shanks, and I guess people already believe that already, but for those who think that they are. I don't know. I could be wrong, but to me it's like languages.
11% of the people in our chat that voted said they think it's still just Shanks.
Still Shanks. So all right, so low number here. Right, so I'm just thinking it's very interesting. It's how Oda wrote this, another mystery. It's just credit to him because it has us discussing it like this. So it's very... I can't wait to see this reveal because how Oda did it. Because also, too, I've never seen Shanks wear a hoodie in his life. And this one, both times we've seen it, and how his style of doing things, it just seems very different from the Shanks that we've seen. And also, too, always seen Shanks with his crew. Never a time really without his crew. But now, out of nowhere, they would notice that he's gone, you know? So, right. And I think there's another thing I wanted to mention. I can't think. I lost it, but we can move on from me until I think of it again.
Sorry, I was writing out a little theory that came to my mind. I want to start off by saying I'm not a fan of like another Shanks existing. I've mentioned it before, like a while back. I just don't like the thought process of Shanks having a clone. It kind of makes me feel like the whole Blackbeard theory of 3 personalities. I don't want it to take away from Shanks' character, and I feel like it does that. No disrespect to the twins. But I just don't like it. It feels like kind of shoehorned in. It seems like very important information because Shanks happens to be the influence of the main protagonist of the show. And I feel like because we have had nothing from Shanks for such a long time, dropping this kind of bombshell on us seems... I just don't like the writing of it. I'm not going to say it's bad writing. I just don't like it personally. But if I am to make some sense of it, to at least keep everybody's minds intrigued, I'll say this. I believe this Shanks lookalike is a clone instead of a brother.
Okay.
Here's why. Shanks was found in a treasure chest, like, these guys just said, 38 years ago, after God Valley, on Roger's ship in a treasure chest. You know what group existed a year before that?
Mads?
Mad Science Group. Mad started 39 years ago, and they got shut down about 26 years ago, I believe, because they were active for about 13 years. Remember why they had to get shut down?
They were researching the lineage factors.
Exactly. They found the lineage factor. So this lineage factor led to it was the blueprint of life. And technically Vegapunk discovered it, right? But Judge was also involved. Through the lineage factor came artificial devil fruits, green blood, modified humans like 𝙴, cloning, as we've seen with Judge, and even the main ingredient of smile fruit, which was sad. What's really interesting is that in this chapter, we were just talking about Lilith and her perfect recreation cloning process. So if Vegapunk and the Mad Science group were possibly, searching for funds, and they needed some in order to continue their research, why not search out to celestial dragons to say, hey, I got some deal you might be interested in. I could probably recreate your organs or recreate you as a person. That way, if you ever are near death, I can revive you, or I can make you have some life again, right? So, Sebastian, back up a little. I want to talk to Lawrence. Yeah. So it's like, so I can see that happening where maybe the Garland family wanted to, if Garland is indeed Shanks' pops, he probably wanted to clone his son in case it didn't work out. The same way like Outlook had Sabo, and Sabo didn't work out for him, and they were royalty, right? So he's like, just in case. So he ends up cloning Shanks, but he just takes his blood. And he never really goes, hey, I perfected it. He goes, yo, I got something, but it's not official yet, so just wait on it. And we've seen that even 𝙴 can grow really quick in a short amount of time. The Vinsmoke family, it was said by Yonji that it takes, 2 years, or how many years was it? 7 years or something for them to become grown adults?
Full grown adults.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So I can see that happening with this current Shanks. Now, here's where the interesting part comes in. I believe these are God's knights. I believe it's God's knights because it's something that we had in a group text where we were talking about the scarring of Whitebeard and how it could not be Whitebeard because of such things. And I felt like this was going to be brought up today, but it's not, because everybody was like, yo, Sebastian's super right. It might be truly this. And I'm like, well, here's the deal. God's knights have only intervened with the general public or have done anything when it came to the world government overall. On God Valley, the God's Knights were there because it was a protection for the Celestial Dragons that were there, but it was also an event involving the Celestial Dragons, right? Involving 𝙁𝙁𝙪. So when Dragon goes, hey, the God's Knights are about to mobilize because of the things that we did, it was because it was the direct attack on the world government, on the Holy Land, saying we are committing war against you. And we're taking out your food supplies too. And Dragon was like, oh, we got to watch out because they're about to mobilize, right? So it's always in reference to the world government. Okay, now who's with the world government? York. York has a connection to Egghead, which is currently floating. On Egghead is this information box that all the satellites could actually connect to no matter how far they go away. So York knows that Lilith is currently alive. She probably knows that Lilith has the cloning technology that Vegapunk can actually come back in some shape or form, which would then give access to Elbaf having all this technology, which directly, who do the Gorosei know is at Elbaf, or who was on their way to Elbaf? The same people that were opposing them. And that is who? Luffy and crew. Luffy is Joy Boy officially. They officially know this. Emu has felt it, right? So now we're starting to see that, oh, the God's Knights are coming to Elbaf because they are now a direct opposition of the world government. They're a threat. They're threatening us officially. And this transmutation circle was, created by Saturn on Egghead at one point. But for me, it's that's just Emu's power. He transferred it to Garling, and Garling is now able, because he has Saturn's powers, he's now able to create transmutation circles and send whoever he wants through them. And who is he in charge of? The God's Knights, before he came to this position. So he sent God's Knights to Elbaf. And he seems to be the one that's most aggressive in how he handles the Gorosei. Like, he kind of seems like he has an upper hand in them. So he's like, okay, you guys are going to go here. I'm sending you here because of what's happening currently, and this is a threat to our nation. And because Garling kept that state of mind where he's like, yo, I probably need another son just in case this one doesn't work out, he sent Shanks' clone, who he considers his actual son. So for me, that's how it made sense. But I don't like if it's a twin brother. That's the thing for me. Like, I don't care for it.
To me, I think the cloning takes more away from Shanks' character than him having a brother. Him having a brother is just some information that we never would have. There's no reason for us to have had it.
Yeah. Like,
Shanks isn't going to talk about this random brother that he may or may not know that he has. We don't see Mary Joa's day to day. We didn't know about the God's Knights existing. Like, if Shanks has had a brother and it's been a God's Knight for the past 20 years or whatever, there's no natural way for us to have had that information in the story. So it makes sense. And like, I get not liking it because I don't really like the evil twin trope in general. But I don't think it takes away from Shanks' character. And I think it could actually present, like, how do I say this? It can present us with an option or present us with a conflict that Shanks can have that's deeper. Like, how do I say this? As much as I would hate it, this could get Shanks into the end game. Does that make sense? Like, him having this deeper connection with these characters, that to have a story to tell beyond just, oh, I'm Luffy's goal in the end. You know what I'm saying? This could get Shanks from being this, oh, he needs to just be a character that dies for the plot so that Luffy can be impacted, into, yo, I have an actual story to tell, to conflict between my brother and me, and where we sit on this spectrum of life where it's like, I'm fighting for the bad guys and I'm fighting for like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know if I like it, but there's more to that than even what I've always just wanted from Shanks. So I'm excited about it for that element of it, even though it could be crapping all over everything I've wanted for the character since forever. But, and maybe it's just me wanting more information about the guy, but I don't know. I think the cloning part, that is like, all right, well then now Shanks was great from birth, and like now he's getting cloned from birth. That's just, like, you know what I'm saying?
So this is where I was going to point out, right? I don't feel like it takes away from Shanks' character when you have this cloning, because Shanks has been set up as a person that we all idolize the same way Luffy idolizes him. Like, he's the person that we kind of like look at and go, yo, he's such a major head within One Piece that when you think of One Piece, you think of Shanks. As much as you think of Luffy, as much as you think of the other Straw Hats. He's that essential to the story itself. And when you add a brother, yes, you can create that conflict for Shanks to have his own story and to develop. But when you give him a twin brother, it's kind of just like, now we have to add in, hey, this is more than just for Garland. It's my twin brother that I have to take out. And then what if they fight? Now we're seeing Shanks versus Shanks. And I don't really like that at all. And it's worse for me when it's a brother, because now it's like you're forcing this like emotional weight onto the story where I just don't feel like it deserves it. Like, I feel like with a clone, it's a little bit better, and it's crazy because when you think about it, look what Saint Garling was not Saint Garling. Look what Saint Saturn was doing with Bonnie as a child. They were already experimenting on children, and he was the division commander of what? Science. So it's like, it's possible that that's been happening for a while now, even when they've been experimenting with themselves, right? That was a celestial dragon's kid at the end of the day, like a random celestial dragon maybe, right? But it was still a celestial dragon. And like, I can't say that Garling at that point during the God's Knights, during God Valley, was as important as Saturn, held more stature than Saturn. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually he became the head of the God Knights, where he was able to punish celestial dragons, but he was never able to punish the Gorosei. So the hierarchy was definitely there. He just wasn't a part of it. And I just don't like the writing of it. I just can't see a Shanks versus Shanks type of thing. It just wouldn't make sense to me. And to go even further, now we have Seraphim, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were all like, we were discussing hard as hell at one point, do the Seraphims carry the wills of their predecessors? And we didn't know for sure until Boa's Seraphim started talking. And then she shared the same characteristics as Boa herself and liking Luffy, right? It was all there. So if Vegapunk's capable of doing it then, and we have cloning currently happening, perfect recreation, that's what was said in this chapter, that's kind of like foretelling, hey, Shanks also has a perfect recreation.
So my small pushback is, wasn't Stussy said to be the first clone? Or am I misremembering that? And she's like 36. So there's like slight differences in the aging. Because they were researching the lineage factor, but it seemed to me as though they didn't get there yet. And Vegapunk was able to actually do it separately from Mads a couple years later, and Stussy's 36, right? So, like, again, I don't know if that actually breaks the theory or not, because who knows? Like, it's clearly Saturn was doing his own thing.
That's
you know what I'm
also-
saying?
yeah.
But
So the thing is, she's 36, right?
Okay.
God Valley happened 38 years ago.
Uh-huh.
But the year before that, the science group was already formed.
right.
So even if they found it 3 years later, took Stussy's DNA at some point
Yeah,
during that time.
we don't have an age on this thing.
Exactly.
Any
She was
person. That's the
already
thing.
she was already in it.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
So it's like that, and if the cloning process is expedited, I could see how Shanks could have, an older Shanks or like a young Shanks could have existed around that time and been perfectly fine. Because Shanks right now is how old?
39.
39, yeah.
39. He's not that old, bro. If he was like 56, then we'd have a problem. But 39? And Stussy's 36? It's relatively close. Yo, that's close as hell in age.
I want to say honestly, so one, I could see definitely Garling in the way, because I'm support both sides, right? I can think about Garling as if he was, for example, I mean, he is the ruler of the God's Knights. He was the head, right? And obviously he has his warriors that are underneath him, right? I could see him wanting to build up the perfect God Knights army with just his DNA, right? Where he makes clones of himself, where he's supporting like, that is the God Knight army. Because I'm not saying he has a whole attitude of his own, but like his view, how he said about the other judging. If you're judging other celestial dragons, your view of yourself is going to be pretty high. He said that you even liking or helping out the fishmen, he viewed you as lower than scum, right?
Yeah, if you look at you, yeah.
If you want the absolute, right, it's like more me. You need more of me to meet the complete, that.
Like the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly.
More me.
Yes. So I can see Garling doing that. But I will say, put it back to my inner childhood or whatever, but him being Shanks' twin goes back to, remember that Jackie Chan movie?
Oh my
where the
God.
two twins were separated at birth and they had two different lives?
Yeah, bro.
But let me ask you this,
Yeah.
and this is going to blow your mind, right? Let me ask you this. What siblings in One Piece that are twins that actually look alike? Or
The sisters, aren't they twins? The Frankie sisters? I don't remember. Are they twins? I don't remember.
That's actually good.
yeah, that's a good point.
All right. That's the only even twins I'm thinking. I can remember.
Because when I look at Big Mom's kids, she has
she
triplets.
has triplets. They don't look
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
But she has
alike, yeah.
a bunch of set of twins, though.
Yeah,
has
she
lot
had a
of-
couple
Yeah,
twins
but-
that might have looked
Yeah.
alike. She had like a quintuplet set that were like identical.
Oh, yeah, that
There's
I'm
also are those little mermaid fish? Are those little mermaid girls
Inka,
related?
Nika.
Nika, yeah. Are they?
Yeah,
I
my
don't
bad.
know, yeah.
Just for everybody not to get on my case. I'm wrong.
Sanji and his
It's
brothers. low-key.
Chiffon and yeah, my bad. I was wrong on that.
Chiffon, yeah, Chiffon and
Who?
Lola and Chiffon.
Oh, yeah. I
forgot.
actually
Couple
forgot.
twins
I
out here,
forgot.
man. Y'all don't remember the twins? Do better, man.
I don't know, man. I
But look,
gotta warm up to it because
Yeah,
I
I
do
can
not like
understand
it.
that.
Nah, I was an adamant. I don't want Shanks to have a twin guy a while ago. But when I looked at it, I was like, "What is the Is it just that the trope is goofy, or is it actually bad writing?" And when I sat with that thought process, I was like, "There's nothing in the story that tells you that this dude can't have a twin
Yeah.
brother out there."
Because also,
there's nothing.
Because I don't know how. Because apparently to me, I thought the Celestial Dragons were just like getting with women just that they're
Yeah.
in their own lineage or just a
No,
special dragon.
they've been grabbing women off the I
Yeah,
don't say off
yeah.
the street, but they've
Yeah.
been this is my new wife.
So I'm trying to think, right? It could be one, not that it's possible. Say like he had they're twins, but like separate mothers. But I don't know how that's possible. They could be twins or they just look alike, whatever. But I thought of the fact that it's in a chest. What if someone tried hiding? That's what they separated at birth. Hiding one of the twins from Garling by putting him in the chest, just like how Law was hidden from Doflamingo, right?
To like protect
Like-
him from being the son
That's
of
what they-
figure
yeah,
Garland.
or not even just that. You don't want to have another Garling out there. You know, you don't want to further the Celestial Dragon, so you kind of find a way. I don't know who did it, but anyway, that's why it's separated. So you have one that grew up with that, as in the Shanks lookalike, and you have the other one who separated from that because it was, and then in that chest it happened to be found by Roger.
Yeah.
You know, and then Roger took that in. It was like, oh,
Because like Lawrence was saying, Oda set it up that we can't say it's bad writing because again, we don't know where Shanks is from.
No, anything
we just
wrong.
like why is a baby in the church in the first place? Either he had to crawl in there or somebody literally put him there on purpose.
So
Like it's
this is gonna sound kind of crazy, but it reminds me of Moses a little bit, where one baby got put in the sailed up the river in the chest, and the other one grew up to be Pharaoh. So it's like, how do I say this? Not I'm saying it wrong. I'm alluding to it wrong. But
Okay.
essentially, it's like inverted. But like Moses grew up with Pharaoh, right? Did he not? Am I tripping?
well in the Bible, he was actually grew up by his Jewish family. In the movie,
Really?
the
Okay.
animated movie made
Oh,
he
yeah.
grew up as a Pharaoh, but no, like because
Hey.
the Pharaohs and Jews don't mix like that. He
yeah.
didn't want-
But he still grew up with the
Education,
education
Okay.
of
Yeah.
the son of Pharaoh.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he knew who he was.
That
He knew-
already
yeah.
blows up my
Yeah, because
my
he
interest.
knew he was a Jew. He knew he was a Jew
yeah.
and Israelite stuff like
Yeah,
that
he knew
was that new.
But he
Yeah.
had all the education of the potential like Pharaoh as his. Yeah.
All right. Well, my thought train got exploded there.
I'm sorry.
I'll stop.
I'm sorry.
But
sorry.
nah, it is what it is. If it's not factual, then what's the point? But I could still go into the Man with the Iron Mask too, because that was my secondary
Oh, yeah.
one there.
But they did that already.
But they did that already.
yeah.
But ought to be recycled.
But it's-
so.
Not with his own.
No,
stuff.
but he makes references with like he makes like for instance the whole crocodile and Doflamingo thing. There's references inside references. Like
Yeah.
he took a little bit of the Man on the Iron Mask, but it's completely different. Because one there's other twins like Sanji.
Yeah.
they're like him.
Either way, the point is the story of two children being separated at birth, one living the life of luxury in one way or being raised a royalty, etc.,
Yeah.
and the other one living the life of a slumlord, or like in poverty, a pirate, whatever. Like having them live completely separate lives and seeing where they turn up and how they will be. Like that story can be dived into,
Yeah.
developed, and it can relay a message. So, and I think that's probably where we're going here. And I don't know if this guy has known about Shanks this whole time, or if he actually was asking, like, yo, who is this pirate that looks just like me or not? Which would be weird. That would be a
Only
little
because,
goofy.
yeah, that would be good because it's been 39 years. You've never seen a wanted poster of Shanks. It's like,
But
wait, hold on.
So that goes into the how often do the celestial dragons care about the goings on of the sea below them?
They might.
No, but it also,
How often?
but also could have been like
But if he's a god's knight, you really need to be locked in, bro.
No,
You gotta,
I mean-
you gotta have some level of knowledge.
yeah, information. Yeah.
It could be the fact that Shanks was making moves. Because Shanks, he makes, like, not saying mysterious moves like his brother, but like, he's like, he could be like, yo, if it is about Shanks, he's still like, I'm not saying he's gonna calling out, yo, Shanks, I believe Shanks is going after the One Piece. Because that's just wild. How would you know that, right? If Oda's playing on the twin link, that's too much. But, you know what I'm saying? That's too much.
Before you know,
Oh,
he
man.
could have know about Shanks the whole time and said, "Yo, when am I going to take him out?"
It could be that,
That
too.
could, yeah, it could,
Like he could have known, like, "Yo,"
Just say the word.
so
or
get
bring
outta
him,
here.
or bring him in the fold. You know, like I don't know, like I don't know.
But that's all I got. You got more?
No, it just when you look back at the Gorosei's conversation with the lookalike of Shanks, they kind of talk to him with like belittlement. He's like, they're like, "What do you want? Why would you come all this way? This is the Reverie. Given your standing, you should have nothing to do with politics. We only arranged this time on your request, and I appreciate." And he goes, "I appreciate that. There's a pirate I need to talk to you about." It kind of seems like he's a God's Knight for sure, though.
Yeah.
Because the God's Knights don't really deal with politics. They deal with the
They
punishment.
deal with the punishment of
Celestial dragons.
protection. Like it's not about your political. Who cares what you guys think? Protect us. That's it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
All right. But listen, guys, thank you so much for staying with us until the end of the chapter. We're gonna do all of the super chats right now.
I doubt we'll be able to call.
I doubt we're gonna be able to do Discord phone calls. What was the statistics on that poll?
You lost pretty heavily.
How bad?
Right? It was like 52% Larry, 20-something% me, and then 15% Lawrence, and then like 11% Lionel.
Because I'm not here? No.
Yeah, I was gonna say it too. Because Lionel has advantage of that because he's not here.
Yeah. I don't think we have enough time to do that commercial break, unfortunately. So we're just gonna do the super chats, and then so if you guys could like the video, please like the video. It helps us out a lot.
And thank you for being patient on the super chat. This was a very dense chapter with a lot of different thought trains. So
Yeah.
we was yapping. My fault. It's on me. I was complaining and yapping and all that. But we did get a €5 sitting from Jan VB. It says, I wish you guys and everyone in the community the best Christmas. Y'all the best
Thank you.
for real. Much love. #LarryTags. #topped on top. #bang bang buggy gang. Never let that die, y'all. Another 5 from Kabootsie Badass. It says, the cover this week was made because Frankie voice actor retired. Is that confirmed? Either way, it's a nice nod. Mm-hmm. It's a nice nod. Another 2 from Mad Monk Foodie. It says, Seb, can I get a get up? #LarryTags. World Noble Larry. You think Wary's out there? Like Celestial Larry?
Probably.
We got another 5 from Josue Padilla. It says, what are the odds that the unnamed Shanks-like character at the ends of the chapter is who Whitebeard was referring to about his scar? #broker.
I knew someone was going to say that. I knew someone was going to say it.
Did I say it?
It could be.
Oh
I would prefer it be Garland for my own reasons.
I can't.
But it could be.
I can't.
It could be.
I knew someone was going to say it.
We talked about in a group chat. The only way it would be if Whitebeard was directly opposing Joa. That's the only way they would come after Whitebeard and fight him. Because if he didn't fight him on God Valley and leave a scar, that means that either for Garling or that Shanks lookalike would have to come afterwards. And
Which is possible.
Whitebeard has never shown anything like that. He's always been, stay away from me, stay away from my fam. And Celestial Dragons have never been said to hold those tournaments on islands that are associated with Yonkos, because even the world government and the Navy showed that they don't want to mess with those territories. They let them reign.
Maybe they learned a lesson.
On Gal Valley.
Maybe that lesson came after God Valley. You don't know.
No.
You don't know.
I think I said before that Whitebeard didn't even attack Marines like that.
Yeah.
You know, Garmin's worse. But no, they're going to be like, watch, we're going to get next. The same way they're able to go on islands, they just freaking teleported or summoned on Whitebeard's crew, cut him up, and then dips. We're going to get that later on.
Not to linger on this, but say they pulled up on that random island that Marco was protecting. And they decided to have their little war games there.
On Sphinx Island?
Yeah. Is that actually Whitebeard's territory, or is it just where he grew up?
But you're saying there's...
You know what I'm saying?
But you're saying, the possibility of it happening could happen. And it's in the story, it's shown that Sphinx Island is very catered to, and it's never been shown that anything has ever happened to it.
We don't know what Sphinx has been through over the past 40 years.
We would have known because we would have seen at least some type of indication that there's been trouble here before. Yeah. That was the first time when the Navy pulled up. That was the first time they ever had issues with it.
And dude, they would know that's under Whitebeard's. If you're doing that, yeah, they would. And if you're doing it, they know they're going to war.
Whitebeard will probably be like, "Hey guys, this is one of my islands. Chill."
But I'm saying that has to be shown to them at some point. You get what I'm saying? Sphinx Island didn't just automatically Whitebeard's territory. Everybody back up. Somebody had to go to Sphinx Island at some point, and Whitebeard had to be like, hey, nah, don't do that. Because it's my stuff.
I get you, but also I'm thinking of what resources does that place have? I don't know if they do that every time, but
They
they
have
don't.
people.
No, but things they're not benefiting at all from it. Like God Valley, they were actually getting the resources from God Valley. They knew that it is prosperous with the food or whatever they wanted to get, so they just did the tournament and getting that. Sphinx is a poor city. It just like
They
there's no
wouldn't be able to
benefit
receive
doing
heavenly tributes.
it. Yeah,
Maybe they were trying to go somewhere where they didn't think Rogers and Roxas would pull up to. But again, it is all speculation.
It's a very long shot.
Yeah, because they would know. They have information who's in control of what territory. They would know that Whitebeard's under control of that territory, and that means you're going to war with Whitebeard.
The only
You gotta,
time,
you gotta
like I
know
said,
that beforehand, though. If you don't know, you don't know.
there's only one time. There's only a certain point that God's Knights start mobilizing, and that's when they feel threatened. And Whitebeard,
That's not.
it's
That's not true,
the
though.
type
But
that
that's not
threaten.
true. That's not true.
When was it
When
not
they
true?
when they have those tournaments, the God's Knights are there to protect the Celestial Dragons.
But when Celestial Dragons are also involved, my bad.
Yeah.
If there's no Celestial Dragons involved, there's no opposition to the Holy Land itself. There's not going to be any time for them to mobilize.
That's valid.
And except when Whitebeard happens to be a person of non-conflict, unless you decide to go, hey, you're going to murk one of my sons, that's when I act. If you don't hurt my family, we're straight.
I'm gonna say one more thing for this because we do have to move on. We have a bunch of super chats. Y'all are basically saying that every Celestial Dragon would be like, I'm not gonna mess with this territory because it's Whitebeard, when they have literally a beyond Doflamingo level god complex that it doesn't matter if you're Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mom, whatever. Y'all are lesser than me because y'all are human and I'm a god. So if I want to go to Sphinx Island and tell some random slave people that they're going to die today because I want to do a hunting competition, that's what I'm doing today. And I expect the God's Knights to handle whatever comes at with that. That's literally the point.
Did the God's Knights ever come to Fishman Island after Miosgard was attacked?
No, but that's because they sent an emissary up there to negotiate. Like, literally.
So did they send somebody to Sabaody Archipelago when
No, but they
Charles
sent
was
an
punched in
admiral.
the face?
They sent an admiral.
Okay, but they didn't mobilize though, right?
They didn't. They didn't, but they can. I'm saying the
Okay.
God's Knights are in place to protect Celestial Dragons.
Yes.
We've seen them act as a bodyguard and buffer for them in this hunting competition thing that apparently happens once every 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a consistent timeline that they'll jump down and be a part of the regular world in protection of Celestial Dragons.
But there's two consistencies shown though. 2 times Celestial Dragons have been in danger and have been directly damaged, and then 2 times they didn't show up. So it probably
fair.
takes a little bit more for them to mobilize,
That's fair.
such as a huge amount of Celestial Dragons on
Right,
one island,
but that's-
or
but that's what
an
the-
actual confrontation of saying, I declare war on your state.
That's valid, but that's why I said it could have been one of those hunting competitions where multiple Celestial Dragons are in one place at one time.
But then we would.
Miosgard was a one-off situation. So was what's his face? There was multiple
I feel like
Celestial
what you're
Dragons there.
saying is too monumental to the story in order for it to be swayed as some like easy going. This could happen at any point. I feel like once God Valley happened and that island disappeared and Celestial Dragons were no longer able to benefit or stay on that island, they were like, yo, we can't hold these hunting competitions on just anything because that would involve us going to war with a Yonko, which we don't want to do.
It's too risky for them.
It's too risky for them now.
I feel like what you just said is in conflict because you're basically saying that this moment was so monumental, even though it's been erased from history, from the world essentially, that they've used that as a template to we can't do this now. When in reality, it says every 3 years they still do this.
Yo,
No, why would they do it?
They still do the hunting competitions. They say every 3 years. That's what was said.
yo.
But it didn't say after that God Valley it happened every 3 years. They said, yo, this happens every 3 years before God Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And then when God Valley happened, we've never heard of another hunting competition ever after that.
We haven't even been through 3 years in the story yet.
That's what I'm gonna ask.
We might get another
Yo, I
hunting
was gonna ask
competition
that.
now.
Do you think we're gonna get a?
Wait,
Because it's been 2 years right
what
now.
are you talking about? 38 years ago, God Valley happened.
No, I'm saying in the current timeline, it's been 2.5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
2.5 or maybe a little longer than that. Maybe like 2 years and
I was
8
about to
months.
ask that.
That's okay, but even then, that doesn't mean anything because we probably won't hear about it anyway.
No,
Right?
I think that might trigger something.
But the thing is, we've had 38 years And if we had so many other hunting competitions after that, then we would have possibly heard about one of them. Because why? The Yonko were reigning during that time.
Bro, we didn't even hear about Shanks' brother.
Shanks' brother lives in a cloak.
I'm kidding.
And he's hidden on 𝙏𝙚𝙪𝙢𝙗.
So, man,
You can't, for me personally, you just can't say, well, this should just be able to happen at any point, when we've proven you over and over again that there's more evidence supporting that this just doesn't happen anymore. It just doesn't.
I also feel like Garlic, all those other pirates were there. I think the big battle was between the Rocks and the Roger pirates, and Garlic was probably busy fending off. Remember, a swarm of pirates rolled up on that island, and they didn't have the numbers to fight. So
And
I
the thing
think
is, Saturn was also there. Saturn saw the destruction that caused. He saw what inspired everything after that. Like, they could essentially say, after God Valley, the Yonko were created would eventually that actually hurt them afterwards.
that's still speculative. But
It's
equally speculative.
It's equally speculative.
The difference is I don't push
But that's
back,
the
though.
least amount of evidential reference I've spoken to. Everything else has had backing.
I'm going to drop it because we got 15 minutes and like 50 super chats to get to.
All right.
So I'm gonna drop it. We can talk about it later. Another 5 from Off-Brand. It says Tekken dropped strongest characters on One Piece and put Mihawk beating Shanks as well as Green Bull in the race. Y'all need to react. His reasonings are fun. I'll try to check it out. Shout out to Tekken. I don't think we've ever actually connected. Maybe on a Reverie or something one time. I don't know. Another 5 from Wise Life Jody. It says Happy Holidays with the praying emoji. If Kizaru wasn't mentally nerfed on Egghead and Luffy took him serious like he did Kaido, who would actually win? Hashtag I hate Admiral fans. And that was Wise Life Jody's 20th super chat. So thank you for the consistency.
I got Luffy.
I got Luffy.
I don't know. I think Luffy should be him.
Okay.
Bajrang gun. And plus, if he's using all the hockeys he has, then there's no way Kizaru could beat him.
Lionel?
It'll be a really tough fight, but I think Luffy could bump it up.
Another 2 months at Mateo239. Nakama status, it says, love you guys. Happy holidays. Hashtag bust it open. Thank you. Another 11 months at Yonko status from Roy Stokes, the boy. It says, let's go 11 months with the GOATs. No, you're the GOAT, man. 30
thank
memberships
you.
today is crazy.
Thank you, Roy.
Thank you.
Another 50 from John D. Water. It says, who would win in a healthy old Whitebeard versus old Garland, maybe? Hashtag, I don't know what that says. AKA long live the Larry Tex. Okay, hashtag LL. That's too funny.
So Whitebeard's just old and not sick.
They're both old, and it doesn't seem like Garland's sick.
I got Whitebeard.
I don't know, bro.
I got Whitebeard too, because again, I don't know how strong Garland is.
I'm buying into the Garland stocks. I'm going to go Garland just to be competitive. We got another 5 from Rev Beast. It says, what power up would give Blackbeard to be top tier in the verse? Better uses of his current fruits. He seems too weak for the current narrative. I would say Advanced Conqueror's Hockey. If he could add that in conjunction with his current skill set, he could be top 1.
It's all hockey for he did. That's what he needs to power up on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another 10 from our guy Fexer. It says Banks and Shanks had to 2v1 meet Gawk. Come on, bro. For a draw.
Oh my god. ...
Keep coping. Fexer, you're better than this. Actually, you're not. I don't know why. I don't know why I even uttered those words, but thank you.
Yeah, well, the rat allegations are non-existent now, so.
We don't know if it's not Shanks. We got confirmed, but probably not. He probably beat those. We got another 5 from Mole Snack. It says, Larry told me the tax would be doubled was for white fans. Oh, wow. Hashtag best book club. Hashtag buggy get the D-goat. That's a Larry question. Another 20 from Elo. It says, what's up, squad? First live stream. Mostly tune in on Apple Podcasts. Seeing as the army be slaving me, but I had to get my Larry tax in before I end up like kid out here. Hashtag don't hurt me. Larry, don't hurt me. Hashtag broker. Hashtag let them boys stay dead. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, bro. Stay safe.
Another 10 from John D. Waters. It says the challenge again. Yeah, man, we actually completed it this time. It's going to look like Larry's getting a pie. Another 5 from Kabutsi. It says, I agree Vegapunk should stay dead, but Oda's a dad of 2 girls. He's not letting Bonnie live without Kuma.
Sebastian, I can't.
Another 10 from Roy Stokes. Much love to y'all goats. So happy I found y'all and look forward to every Monday because of y'all. Hashtag top on top.
Thank
Hashtag
you,
Larry Tax.
I
Thank
really
you, Roy
appreciate
Stokes.
that.
Thank you.
Another
Thank you,
10
Roy.
from John. It says, Larry and Law got to stop this Marco slander. It's been going on since day one, but I don't mind the kid slander, though he deserves it. Hashtag Marco stronger than King.
You picking favorites, man.
We've been having this conversation longer than this pod, bro.
It's been 10 years.
And he still hasn't been better.
Sebastian, give him time. We did.
Yeah. Another 2 from Tanya23. It says, new Shanks should be stabs. Hashtag end the Larry tax joke. You added to it, bro. Another 20 from NYC Anime Nerd. It says, if Luffy dies in Nika form and Law brings him back, does the Nika come back in form without his fruit, or does he come back normal or normally with his devil fruit? Because couldn't he get to laugh till then? It's a lot of thoughts there, bro.
We have no idea how Law's ability works in that way.
Yeah, we have no idea how his ability works.
I'm going to say he'd be able to revert back to normal form, just off my own personal view of it. But thank you.
I mean, technically, he'll probably still keep it. Vegapunk still kept his.
All right. Another 20, CK from Efrietos. It says, got a loan from the bank to pay my Larry tax.
You guys need to stop.
Thank you. Another 5 from Rowan Noah Ronan. It says, my guy's having an argument at work right now. Current Zoro versus Kokushibo from Demon Slayer, and Saint Ethan versus
Zoro versus the Demon Slayer guy. Zoro wins.
Oh, okay. No, it's Ethan Venus Juro versus Mihawk 1v1. I think you have to go Mihawk for now, personally.
Yeah.
Zoro would beat any Demon Slayer person, bro, in my opinion, based off what I've seen from them. Another 8 months at Nakama status from Most Hated. Says Christmas and good topped the best time of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Another 10 from Naib. It says, yo, dudes, love tuning into the stream. Larry, I see you with the calm fit. Yo, somebody get this man a thick Latina LMAO. Also, Vegapunk not dying pissed me off. Seb is based with the Nakama fist. Thank you. Pissed me off, too. Another 5 from Y2K. Why didn't the World Gov clone Law, since he was a warlord and has the clones give them the immortality surgeries? Hashtag plot hole, hashtag Mihawk over stabs. 1, we don't know that they did. And 2, we don't know what the process was like to get these clones. So it's possible it was only something they could do with the time skip warlords. But who knows? We got another Nakama joined the crew in Mac Daddy Dab. We got another 5 from Jacqui. It says, Seb was right about Whitebeard not meaning Shanks when talking about his scars, and y'all clowned on my boy. Gonna need a public apology. Hashtag like the stream. That has not been confirmed to be correct yet, Jacqui, but I'm waiting on it. It'll come. Another Yanko joined the crew, our highest tier of membership, from FNK Don. Welcome. We got another 13 months at Nakama status from Ladislav Veterinari. I can't say it. Veterani. It says, maybe it's because of the Buccaneer blood. Hashtag TOPT. Maybe. Another 5 from Joey Danko. Oda tripping. He couldn't even kill off a single O'Hara book with the crying emoji. Kuma needs to be taxidermied. Okay. And used as a table. Oh my God, in my opinion. Wow. Hashtag Larry Tax. Hashtag BBC. Hashtag Busted Down. Hashtag Midhawk. Thank you. Not a little too far with the taxidermy table thing. Another 5 from Zoro Top 1. I think the owl in the library is what hatched from Roger's egg. He could have gifted it to Elbaf, and maybe the silhouette we saw is connected to that. Maybe.
That's a good theory.
Do owls get hatched? Yeah, right? I assume.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about owls, bro. Except that they be night, bro.
Birds lay eggs, though.
Sure. Another 10 from months at Yako status from Alex Vargas. It says, Larry, you've been taxing me monthly for almost a year. I can't afford any essentials, but I don't want my family to disappear. Anyway, I remember that you guys are loved. Hashtag busted open. Hashtag Lawdy Dilf. Hashtag subby. Hashtag bald. Another 5
Thank you, bro.
from KS2G. It says, G2. It says, Ayo. At what point does Law realize he is not getting what he signed up for in the Alliance? Hashtag, in your honest opinion, I guess. Hashtag broker, hashtag buggy sucks, hashtag BBC, hashtag subtext, hashtag hodo. Early. I think on Punk Hazard he realized it.
Yeah, when he put
when they put Chopper on his head, that was probably
yeah.
one. Another 5 from Mac Daddy Dab. It says, are there any 3 members from the Supernovas or Worst Generation that could defeat 3 Admirals? Are we excluding Luffy? Like, are we excluding Luffy and Zoro?
Because there's no.
The 3 Admirals, like 3 on 3? Luffy, Law, and Kid versus the three admirals. Who y'all got?
I got the 3 admirals.
And if y'all want, replace Kid with Zoro, because y'all rank Zoro higher.
I would do that. That's what I would do.
Yeah. And if you go worst generation, we adding Blackbeard, because then we really talking. For me, anyway. Another 2 from Maki Jiro. It says, "How do we get a Discord ban appealed? My PFP was canceled." I don't.
You gotta contact Nick.
Hit up Nick 𝐓𝐴𝐽. Another 2 from Alex Vargas says, "Larry dripped out with our tax money." Hashtag CEO Larry.
I got on a hoodie.
Right, bro. The fit is tough. Another 10 from Finding Timbo. It says, "Finally caught up watching out podcast after not watching for a year. Here's my Larry tax so he doesn't turn off my lights on Christmas. Hashtag Larry tax. Keeping the lights on." Another 2 from Luffy Nick. It says, "I believe this is Figurelin's clone." Hashtag Larry tax. Could be. Another 10 from Mondo D Tech. "Just sold my firstborn son to pay my Larry tax. I hope this is enough, my lord. Hashtag bust that thing open." Another 5 from ZCF Inc. It says, "Yell, long live Lord Larry Tax." Hashtag Larry Tax. Do you guys think at the end of the chapter are God's Knights? Thank you, my lord, for letting me in your presence. Larry spoke on that, but yes, I think most of us thought they were God's Knights. Another 5 from Y2K. It says, "The other we person is either Kuina, oh God no, or Uta, God no. Vagabond brought them back. Please no. Hashtag stabs Vegapunk. It says Vagabond? I don't know. Hashtag stabs over Shanks. Hashtag stabs is real. Hashtag is there any other buggy look-alike? Hashtag Larry." I don't know. Another 5 from Viva La Vivri. "Shaggy equals Shiki." Doubtful. The traumatizing experience was his escape from Ippo Down. The last panel of chapter 1132, we can see him holding a transponder still. I'll have to look back at that. Another 10 from Alex Charmo. It says, "Larry, you say to not give to go by title of the people, but you say you believe that Roger is stronger than Whitebeard because he is the Pirate King. 3 parts in Super Chat to show my thinking." Okay, so that was the first part, I guess. Then the next part was another 10. "Rayleigh being able to tell the strength of others. Whitebeard could tell Roger was on the decline. I see Roger versus Whitebeard as Shanks versus Kaido. Whitebeard is able to take more hits. Other things similar. Lastly, the Pirate King title didn't matter because no one really challenged him except Lin, who created was trash, and Chicky, who do you thought was not 30? Who's not top 30? That's a lot there. Do you want to respond to any of that?
Do I want to respond?
We don't have a lot of time, so I'm asking. It's up to
No.
you. All right.
Because
Thank you, Alex.
Titles don't really
Alexis.
matter in One Piece.
And it also wasn't the exact title reasoning. That's why Larry said what he said. So.
Yeah.
Another 5 from Casey Griffin. 10 from Casey Griffin. It says, "Hey guys, I love watching you for a while now. I really enjoy your takes. If Luffy didn't have a time limit for Gear 5/Hockey, how far does he make it? As far as he wants to. How high would he be in the top 20 list? 1.
He'd probably be one alive.
He'd be 1 probably ever, bro. They said no limitation to his hockey or time limit.
I don't think he has stronger hockey than Whitebeard Prime.
They said no
Prime.
limit, though.
No, I get it. I think Roger, too. I think they would overpower him. Shanks as well.
Another 5 from Larry Lover. It says, "I can't believe the twins said Garling scarring Whitebeard would be bad writing." Just Lano said it technically. Hashtag bust it open. They said heartbroken. And then
That's just so quick.
I try to be, bro. I got no time. Another 20 from Meeks. It says, "Do you think Luffy still could awaken his Del Fruit if he didn't have Conqueror's Haki?" I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Another 2 from Mac Dabby Dab. It says, "Yonko Battle Royale all on their prime. Who wins?" I got Whitebeard.
I got Whitebeard.
Another 5 from Mondel Tech. It says, "Larry looked like he about to drop the hardest BT cipher about One Piece." Another 280 from John Ige. It says, "If it is a clone, will the hockey powers transfer?" Sure.
Maybe.
Another 20 from Debito. It says, "Perhaps the circles may have been activated by hockey, but they could also be teleportation tech based on how the Gorsei circles had numbers on and this one don't." That's true. Maybe this is why aircraft tech hasn't been prioritized in One Piece world. Maybe. I like that thought
No,
process.
they just don't want to give people the power, but it's definitely Emu's power. It's not hockey.
I would say so. Another 5 from Gerardo. It says, "What if Pirate Shanks is the clone of a Celestial Shanks? Celestial Shanks is sick and Pirate Shanks was made to be a donor baby, then got away." Hashtag broker.
It's kind of what I said.
A little bit. Another 20 from Mr. Music Major, a.k.a. Preston from the Life with Anime podcast. It says, "I don't know if I'm happy about this clone/twin brother Shanks, but I gotta agree with Seb. Hashtag Shanks is supposed to be the ops." Thank you, Preston.
Thank you, Preston. I appreciate you, brother.
Another 10 from Daniel De Armas. It says, Shanks' twins theory, Norse mythology, the wolves Skull and Hades chase the sun and moon across the sky, respectively, in the hopes of devouring them. Shanks is chasing the government, and the twin is chasing the sun. Maybe. That's interesting.
Yeah, we're getting so many super chats
crazy,
though.
bro.
And they keep coming.
Another 2 from the broker. Sorry, Barf. The Prince and the Pauper leaps to mind. Yes, I don't think many people are familiar with the story.
Marv, can we get 5 more minutes?
Thank you, Marv.
Thank you. Because Sebastian's like
I'm trying, bro.
working out at this point.
Another 2 from Back Daddy Dab. Kobe versus Jesus Burgess. Oh my God, bro.
It's Jesus right now.
I'll go Jesus for now, bro.
Yeah.
But Kobe land that shot. You know, who knows? Another 8 from Max Brown. I always think of this, but do you guys take into account hockey blooms when it comes to matchups? Like I always ask King versus Cat matchup, etc. If Cat has had a hockey bloom since the Luffy fight, I would go Cat.
Yeah.
Like I would be more solid than that. Another 8 from Max Brown. The 5 elders literally said Luffy's fruit is their most wanted because of how it opposes them. So how could his bounty not increase after Egghead? They were actively trying to. Oh, after Egghead?
They don't want to create more belief in this person, but they also have him on a poster.
We also don't know that it hasn't.
Yeah,
We don't?
the
They never
Gorsei
said it.
are just a bunch of f-ups, bro.
That's true. Another 5 from M. Hardy. It says, what's all of your favorite moment of One Piece when the story got dark? Oh, man.
When Arlong stepped on
Oh,
Balamir's
man.
arm
Yeah, that was pretty
and
dark.
broke it.
Zeph eating his leg. That was wild. That was like my first, moment.
I don't have one on the top of the head.
Yeah, off the top of my head,
Another 299 from Max Brown. Who is the most overall primary antagonist of One Piece? That's a loaded question, bro. I'd say Blackbeard. I would say, I still don't think he's the endgame villain. I still think that's Emu. But to the themes of everything that we've seen so far, I go Blackbeard. Another 5 months at Yonko status from Gerardo Ramirez. It says, Merry Christmas to all the Nakama and our 4 Yonko, including the 5th one, Marv. Looking forward to a whole new year of top on top. Let's reach the One Piece together, singing Banks Sake, #broker.
That was sweet.
That was
Thank you,
sweet.
bro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another 2 from Larry Sold Me Drugs. It says, my grandma says you're handsome, Larry. Okay. Another 2 from
Better not
Flamingo.
bring her around me.
Okay. Another 2 from Flamingo. It says, had to start my own and OnlyFans to pay my Larry tax. Oh, man. We got another 21 months at Yonko from Firearms. It says, Merry Christmas, y'all. Wanted to wish everyone happy holidays before y'all leave. #best BBC. #Marv the Goat.
Yeah, same to you guys.
We got 10 from our guys. Gotta Hate 'em podcast. Shout out to
The
Shmeem and the boys.
boys.
It says, who would win in a sword fight that Sasuke or Zoro? Had to come pay my taxes. Love y'all, boys. Thank you, Shmeem.
If Sasuke ain't using any other powers, it's just Zoro. Like,
My hate for Sasuke can't allow me to say him, but he would win that fight, I think.
not if he's using like Susanoo and stuff like that. If he, yeah,
Did he just mean swordsmanship?
If it's just swordsmanship, I got Zoro.
Yeah.
If it's all your abilities, Sasuke got a lot in his bag, bro.
he does.
A lot, bro. And I don't like that guy.
It's when it comes to swordsmanship, you can't suggest that Sasuke would win against Zoro. It's just impossible.
And then another 2 from Joey Danko. It says, it's not Shanks' brother, it's Bon Clay returning. Imagine.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
funny.
That would be-
That would be so hilarious. I would hate it, though.
I would hate it.
Okama.
I'd be upset.
Ow!
He doesn't even do that.
He does a little or do or whatever. I don't know. And then we got another 5 gifted memberships from McDaddy Dab. So thank you. Enjoy all the emojis that come with being a member to those who are able to receive. That's all the super chats. I don't think I missed any. If I did, somebody DM me on Discord. I'm tired. My mouth hurts.
Pause. But thank you guys so much for all that you gave us today. Seriously, thank you. This was one hell of an episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. I will be doing the timestamps later tonight. I might not finish. It takes a while to do the timestamps. Also, if you can like the video, please like the video. If you're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please leave us 5 stars and a nice comment. It does us wonders. And we will figure out the pieing situation next week. I'll talk to Marv during the week to see if we could do it inside the studio, somewhere inside the studio, and then probably do like a IRL just so you guys can receive that live. And then, yeah, guys. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Marv, for giving us some extra time, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you to everybody. We hope you enjoy the rest of your holidays. And listen, man, we'll be back next year, right? We'll see you next year.
I think we'll see them before that.
Really?
Yeah, I think the 30th is a Monday. So, yeah.
30th a month?
Yeah.
Oh, then we'll see you before the year ends. All right? So be safe. Enjoy your time with family. Love your loved ones a little extra. Hug them a little extra. And make sure you eat well. All right? Talk to you guys later. My name is Larry.
Lawrence.
Lionel.
Seb!
And it's that One Piece Talk. Jana!
Oh my god, my ears. Thank you, Mark. Sorry.